Yo, you tuned in to Guerilla Cross Radio.
Yo, what's up, and welcome to Unnamed Sports Show, live right here on Guerilla Cross Radio. I'm your host, Quan59, and we got a dope show for you today. NFL Week 1 is here, and some great games yesterday, some sloppy games yesterday. We're going to be talking about all that. We're going to recap almost every game real quick. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and the amazing comeback he had after it looked like he might be out again. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Steve's notes today because he's still taking notes over here. I'm proud of him, man. I'm like a proud father over here with your note taking. This might be a Monique note day for Steve. We're warning you guys now.
We better put that at the end.
We tried to stop it before the show started, but we don't know where this is going to go.
Too late.
But my man Steve Hollywood Huff in the building. What's good?
Trust me, there are not that many notes. I'm just organizing my thoughts, so there's no dead air, there's no rambling, and I'm not saying a lot. So
in real talk, we're gonna have a button every time somebody says We're gonna have a big gong play because I listened to the replay I think last Thursday and I said like the word the pretty much. Got my man Death Star Dave in the hot seat today.
That's right.
Usually the first one here, but
Not today.
not today. He was he scored 3 points.
Listen, I thought it would be close enough, but Josh had to get a haircut.
Yep.
And we got fresh from the barber, just in time. Josh Williams in the building. What's good?
Not just in time today, baby.
Just way too early.
Yeah. Just long enough to stretch my legs.
If you actually counted the time that you got here based on that, you probably would be considered late, considering.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Well,
average.
Do the math on that.
Luckily, we rarely start at 2. So I'm usually fine.
Yeah, you're the reason for that, though. Usually.
Oh, you hater. Hater in the house. Hatred in
And
your,
if you're watching live on Facebook, please share the Facebook Live post if you like the show. And give us some reactions, you know what I'm saying, throughout the show. If you like what we're saying, hit those hearts, hit those like buttons. We like likes. We like reactions. That's why Steve posts what he does all over social media. He does it for the likes. So we will be talking about Serena Williams today. Later on in the show, we have some NHL trade news happening. And do you know Vegas Golden Knights' first preseason game is 6 days away?
That's correct.
So getting excited about hockey. Listen, it's September. It's sports season. This is like the height of it, September, October. It's exciting. Dave's beard is in danger as well. Dodgers are half a game back.
Feels good. Feels luscious.
They had a series this weekend with the Rockies, which helped them a lot as far as getting those games up quick. But a half game back, Dave. What do you think?
I think I am not worried at all. I notice your beard is staying very trimmed lately. You don't want to lose very much.
Getting ready.
Makes it easier for the Clippers to go through.
I told the girl to cut my hair about that yesterday, and just to make sure I'm like, don't take too much off the beard.
Don't take too much, honey.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't want to. It's got to stay nice to not be shaved.
Wow.
Anyways, we're going to jump into NFL Week 1 right now. And we're going to start with last night's game. This is a game I was sleeping. Listen, my work schedule was so jacked up. I really need to get it fixed for the NFL because I was upset last night because I really wanted to watch that game, and I just couldn't keep my eyes open. But, you know, when you sleep with the TV on, you wake up on and off all the time. So I did catch clips of the game, and I think the last time I saw it, they were down 20-3. I wake up and they're interviewing Aaron Rodgers on the comeback. I'm like, what? What happened? And, you know, I didn't even see the injury. So it looked like he got carted off. People were saying, and social media goes crazy. Like, everyone's a doctor on social media.
It did look bad.
Cart is never a good. That's never good in the NFL.
Especially with the quarterback. Especially everyone's already worried about Aaron Rodgers getting hurt again.
Yeah.
And they're starting to call him the new Tony Romo.
Oh.
But he's actually won games.
Ring.
He's won a ring. I mean, yeah, exactly. So you can't say that. But I think everybody was worried, right, when he got carted off, thinking like, yo, this might be the season again. He got his money, so it's not a big deal to him, but at the same time, he wants to win another ring. But then he ends up coming back, Willis Reed style, and scoring 3 touchdowns in a row after that. So what are you guys' reactions to this game? Khalil Mack looked great.
That's an understatement
not even
in the first half.
Listen, not even in shape yet, and looking like a beast. And like me and Steve were talking before the show, and you know, he was saying he was kind of whatever with Khalil Mack, but I'm like, no, this dude is legit, and that Bears defense is going to be really good.
Yeah, that defense looked fantastic. Mack, I saw the stat was since 1982, he's the first player with sack, forced fumble, fumble recovered, interception, touchdown, all in one half. And he's also the first person to do that in the league since himself a couple years ago.
Wow.
He was an all-pro at 2 positions in the same season.
I knew he was good. All right. I never would say like, oh, he's not that great or whatever. I knew he was good. I knew he was better than most. When you see the game yesterday, you don't just feel like, oh, he just had a great game. Like, I watched this game thinking,
that's 4 likes so far.
This guy is unstoppable. I was thinking about Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor. Khalil Mack, his career so far is on pace to be as good or maybe, and this is huge, maybe better. Maybe.
Well, he's an all-time talent.
I mean, it's hard to change a game like Lawrence Thomas or like Reggie White as they did in their time.
Do it, Dave.
Before,
do it, Dave.
But look,
you turned red quicker than me.
We left.
But I'm saying, I think that
Lawrence Taylor, folks.
Lawrence
Taylor.
Listen, Lawrence.
I let it ride. I was like,
yeah.
These are the 2 players I named, Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White, are my favorite defensive players in football ever.
Wow, no Bruce Smith.
And I think they're he's good, but these are my 2 favorites. Like, these are 2 players who I wanted to be like growing up. You know what I mean? But I think Khalil Mack is on his way. Is my point. Like, I mean,
he's an all-time type talent, which is another reason why with John Gruden, it's like, I don't care what you got back.
Yeah.
You don't give up the all-time talent. People are like, you can't pay both. Okay, then don't pay Carr.
And Gruden's low-key trying to throw him under the bus, saying that he never reported. He's like, he was under contract. He didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he wanted a new contract that he got from the Bears right when you traded him.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Gruden, come on, bro. Like, we're not dumb. Like, the fans aren't dumb.
He's already in trouble. I can tell Raiders fans are coming for Gruden tonight.
Yeah.
Let's get this straight.
Oh, gosh.
So,
Josh is going to straighten it up.
5
for us.
years,
All right.
he's got 40 sacks. Bruce Smith, 200 sacks. He ain't that close.
In 5 years.
Look.
So let's go 10 years. If we just say he stays at that pace, that's only 80 sacks. And his career is over, essentially, at that point.
But he also drops into coverage and things like that.
Yeah,
no.
But I mean, but when you start talking rarefied air, to me, that's why I keep saying, like, when it comes down to it, the way the game is played now, defense is great, but it's been completely marginalized. I've seen so many penalties now where it's like, oh, shoot, he hit him the wrong way.
On the bad elbow you had to hit me?
Oh, no, that's the bad elbow?
Wow.
I apologize.
Wow.
I apologize. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, the way that they've completely changed how defense is, it's the same way in the NBA. Like, you're not allowed to really be a tough, gritty defender. Like, you can't really just go after people anymore. Now you have to, like, go after them the perfect way, under the perfect set of circumstances. So to pay a defender, to me, that much money in today's game is a little. It can set you up unless you're going to draft that way and you're going to continue to build around that. It's tough. That's my own.
But that's only why I put the asterisk around him being better than those greats. Because just like the NBA is different now, it's a different game in the NFL because of penalties.
No, true.
You know what I mean?
In the way it's officiated.
Yeah, you can't if you can get back there like Lawrence Taylor could back in the day and light a quarterback up a couple times, he is terrified the rest of the game.
He's not throwing the same.
He's terrified the next time y'all play together. You understand?
Yeah, you're
now,
right.
if you hit a quarterback like that, you're penalized. The quarterback ain't scared of you no more.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So a quarterback might stick around in the pocket a little bit to get a better pass off.
Or to take that one hit. If all I know I got to take just one, but that's going to buy me 15 yards either way.
Right.
Especially with the calls they're making now with the following through on the quarterback and coming down with your weight on it. There were a lot of roughing the passer calls, especially in the early part of the game, where you're like, man, they are not even like I saw one where the guy was even sure to shift his weight, but I mean, he just got such a nice clean hit on the quarterback.
Yeah.
A good clean hit, if the
Still a
ball's
good
coming
clean
out,
hit.
is like that's a flag now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Guys don't want to risk it. So that's why it's like I understand what you're saying about not wanting to pay a defensive player in this climate, but that's why it's even more important to have a transcendent type talent because you're not you
don't know who
you
you're
can't
gonna
have anybody marginal. Anybody marginal is just getting lit up.
Yeah.
Yo, if you want to call in and talk to us, hit us up 702-608-3259. We're talking about NFL right now, week 1, and Packers and Bears. We're talking about Khalil Mack. I mean, he looks really, really good. And like I said, man, he's still not completely in shape yet. I mean, he's barely been playing football. Obviously, he's staying healthy,
but
and,
not in
working out,
shape.
but not in game shape. Not in he didn't have a training camp.
He also didn't play
line.
much in the second half, which showed on their defensive side. Now, and the other thing to as much as I think he's a great player and it was a huge pickup for them to pour a little cold water on it, most of what he did to Deshaun Kaiser, who is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so
pour
a little bit of cold water on it, but a very small amount.
My only thing though, are you willing to say that Mitchell Trubisky looks okay?
No, I think Trubisky is not good.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You still are gonna.
You saw it in the second half. They couldn't figure out what they were running well, but they never really ran the ball much in the second half. It was a lot of short dump, check down throws. Trubisky, I don't see it. I mean, he looked better than last year, but that's
the whole game.
That's
I
not
was
saying
like,
much.
Look, the whole so when they got the ball back for that last attempt to drive, I was like, I kind of want Trubisky to win. Just so I can be in there tomorrow. Like, Dave, I told you, just give the child a chance. He's only in his second year.
It's still very early.
He looks okay.
Brand new offense. I mean, I think the moment, especially when you have Aaron Rodgers coming in there charging at you, that moment started getting really, really big. Especially when he threw that throw in the back corner of the end zone, you're just like, oh man, I'm in trouble.
I think this shows how hard it is to stop an elite quarterback too. I mean, when you
one
have
leg.
when you have the first half of a game and you're basically, if you saw the first half of the game, you just thought it's over. Like this is Aaron Rodgers, but nah, this defense is too good. And look, Trubisky, the first half, I don't know what his numbers were, but he looked good.
Do you ever doubt Aaron Rodgers? So when he comes back and he's in the game, it's like you're down by 3 touchdowns.
It's just
that's not a lot.
That's
just 3 scores real quick. You know,
he's like Brady in the way that you're sitting
Yeah.
there like, oh no, the comeback's coming.
Yeah.
Because you just trust it. I mean, when you saw it was like a little under 3 minutes, and you're just sitting there. If you, I guarantee every Bears fan had the same thought, like we gave him too much time.
And Bear fans know best. The Bears know best about Aaron Rodgers. They have to play him twice a year. They lose to him most of the time, and they've seen this before. Their lead is not safe unless they're up by 30 or more.
Those were the exact words I heard, though, from Bears fans and from a lot of people who bet on the game yesterday. When Aaron Rodgers got the ball and they were driving down the field, everybody was like, it's just too much time. We lost this game. And it's like, guys, they only got 10 points. Like, just calm down. But Bears fans, you could see it.
Yeah.
Like, they knew that Aaron Rodgers was about to.
Well, the biggest thing, especially when you're playing those elite guys, is like you have to keep scoring.
Yeah.
Like even if it's not touchdowns, we can't have empty drives. Like go get 3.
Yeah.
Those 3.
Right.
It's gonna add another possession where it's like, okay, well now they need a turnover.
And
like,
that's
it's not just like,
and that takes the pressure off the defense.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you're not scoring, the defense is like, dang, now we got to do everything
right.
to maintain
to
this
hold
lead.
it, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, they're like that kid who gets beat a lot, and they know when the switch is about to come out.
Oh gosh.
And they saw Aaron Rodgers, and they're like, "Oh man, we did it again."
He has the switch.
Daddy's winding the arm up.
You saw. I don't know why this game reminded me so much of the Super Bowl when Atlanta played the Patriots.
Yeah.
And they were up. And the first half, Atlanta just looked so good. It
Couldn't
was
do
like,
anything wrong.
It was like, and then towards the end of the game, you're just like,
Better score again.
Yeah.
Well,
Just one
Here
more
comes
time.
Brady.
you remember, Quan, I watched that with you. We watched that at Todd's house, and at no point did I think,
None
even
of
when
us,
they were
yeah.
out like 28-3, at no point did I think the Patriots were out of it. Not 1 second.
I literally the whole time, because that one I had everyone at my house, and like my whole family was like, "Oh yeah, the Patriots are done." I was like, they better score one more time.
Yeah.
I was like, if they get this touchdown,
You need at least three.
You're only
at least
down three.
At least three, like you said. Like
all you
score
need is
something.
Three gets you at least to that point
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, now they need a turnover.
Yep.
Like, and you can't guarantee turnovers.
Being
I
up,
can guarantee that we're gonna get
Yeah.
the ball back 2 more times.
being,
Yeah, I mean-
being up by 2 touchdowns against an average quarterback is a good lead in NFL.
Sure, it's solid.
Being up by 2 touchdowns against an elite quarterback is
nothing.
scary territory. Like you are not. It is not safe
Because you
It
can't
is-
sit on it.
Yeah, there's no. Everybody is paying attention. Everybody's nervous. Nobody is.
Especially when
yeah.
that quarterback's one of the top 5 of all time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's,
And so talking about that, where is Aaron Rodgers? You know, are we overreacting? But where is he as far as the list of quarterbacks of all time?
That's an interesting question.
It is.
It's I mean, I think everybody has to say Brady's number 1 at this point. I don't
Because of the rings.
the numbers stacked up more.
Yeah.
Just the
So
length of
really,
time.
everything now
yeah.
depends on where you put
Everyone else.
Montana, Elway, Peyton.
I still
Favre.
love Favre. I love Favre.
I would take Rodgers over Favre.
I would
any
absolutely
day.
take Rodgers over Favre because Rodgers doesn't lose you games.
He doesn't lose you games.
But what? But what? You had a butt there.
But it's Brett Favre.
I
Dude,
feel you.
I will
I'll
tell
take
you.
Rodgers.
I think we.
But I understand.
Not
But
to-
like, I mean,
I'll take Rodgers.
at this point though, like a lot of that still is coming from childhood. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course,
Like,
of course.
Brett was like,
you loved watching him play, man.
Yeah,
It was something
yeah.
about him. He
Was-
had that. I will do whatever it takes to win this game, even if doing that I will lose the game.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you wanted to see that, and
Aaron Rodgers came back from the dead yesterday and won a game. So I don't know.
well, I mean, but I feel like you could have a. It was hard to root against Favre.
I feel that.
I feel like people can root against Aaron Rodgers for the simple fact that now he's dating Danica Patrick.
Wait, I feel like Rodgers has way more fans than Favre did. Favre had a lot of haters.
He had haters, but he had a lot of Favre. Like Favre had his own. Like you got to remember, Favre had his own shoe.
Listen, I liked him a
But
lot.
like,
I liked him a
think-
lot,
I
but
think
I
some
feel
of-
like everyone likes Rodgers though.
but I think some of Favre's haters were like the Kobe haters or the LeBron haters, where it's not that.
Which you have a lot of those.
I know, but
Yeah,
they
Aaron-
they hate
Aaron
him.
Rodgers doesn't
I'm a
have a
Kobe
lot.
hater.
They hate him because he's good and because he has beat their teams in some of the most ridiculous ways, like throwing shovel passes and you know what I mean. And do it, but you know what I mean. So I think that's the difference between Favre and Rodgers, where they're different, and I think the way that they won games.
Yeah, and I think Aaron's I think the beginning of Aaron's career, that's what may take him down the list for me, just because he was
sorry.
behind Brett for
Yeah,
so long.
I feel you.
You know
For
what I mean?
3 years? How
was-
long was he?
2
3
years.
or 4? Was it
No, it
2?
was
Was it
like
only
3.
2? I think
Wait,
it was
was it
3.
3?
Yeah, it was a minute.
It
'cause
was like 3
was
years,
time.
but then he also was hurt. Remember, he got hurt.
Yeah.
The first year he broke something. Was it his collarbone that year too?
He's missed some time.
And
but-
I was laughing real quick because we had a comment on Facebook, on the Facebook Live, from Todd Levy. Only knock on Aaron Rodgers is just one ring.
Which when you're
I know,
talking about the all-time greats,
but this
that's,
is the Eli Manning Todd Levy.
well,
Oh,
Eli is terrible, has always been and will always be. But I mean, you start talking about Elway has 2, Montana has 4.
Eli has 2.
Stop.
Eli has 2
Peyton-
rings.
Peyton has
you
2, but
can't,
shouldn't.
You can't take
Yeah,
those
well,
2
but I
rings.
mean,
Peyton
yeah.
shouldn't have one of those.
Yeah.
One of those he was given. But
And the other one was taken away by an onside kick,
well,
by a surprise onside.
I don't know. You're talking about Favre. I not to segue us away from this, but I felt like yesterday I saw the second coming of Brett Favre.
Well, remember
Mahomes is
Too, oh.
legit.
Yeah, well, we
Good
talked
Lord.
about that. We
Whew.
talked about that.
That
But
kid has a cannon.
Remember too though with Favre. Favre had 3 straight MVPs. That's never been done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
people,
that won't happen in this day and age. There's too many players pop up for a year. Your team changes too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, let's go on to the next game. I think we're going to recap every game real quick.
Okay.
Some of these games we will stay on a little bit longer.
Like my Redskins.
Patrick Mahomes, and we're going to, hey, I like the Redskins too.
The Cardinals are bad.
Okay,
gotta take it
let's
Go ahead, Patrick Mahomes.
let's get to the other Indians. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes looked really good yesterday. Tyreek Hill helped that out a lot, though.
Deuces.
Tyreek Hill
He did.
is ridiculous.
I just have a hard time pulling for him for obvious reasons.
I feel you, but
What's wrong with Tyreek Hill?
He only choked his pregnant girlfriend. Guilty.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's not
All right.
good. That's
I'm
not,
always gonna have a hard time with him.
it's not good.
moving on to the next game.
That's not good.
But no, my one thing I
Good
want to say
call,
about
Dave.
Mahomes
Nothing
is
can be
you
said
see
there.
like those outs where a lot of guys like have to put their arm into it, like
yeah,
a
he's like just
like a
zap.
30-yard out. It's just like, and it's there. But I mean, he can. The things that him and Hill could possibly do would just, if he really wants to just let one go.
Yeah. They could choke the other team out. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
It's Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick with a little bit more accuracy. when
Tyreek Hill is faster, though.
Tyreek Hill,
Tyreek Hill is.
Deshaun Jackson's still out here burning people at like
I feel you,
32.
but Tyreek Hill has.
running through
Tyreek
secondaries.
Hill.
Deshaun was like straight up the field, though.
The funny thing to me is not
He'd have
even
slants.
A little
he
bit,
would
but
catch those slants and
Tyreek
go.
Hill is. I don't know, man. Tyreek Hill got
had that
moves.
one cross yesterday for his second receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
Where I know everybody talked about the other two touchdowns as being more impressive, but I just saw him hit speed like I've just like I felt like for a second it's like I don't think I've seen a football player run that fast.
You guys don't remember when Deshaun Jackson burnt the Cowboys on those outs? Like he would like just have a shallow
I'm not
crossing
taking
route
any away from Jackson
and
at
take
all.
it all the way to the house from like 75.
I always like Jackson, but I just think Tyreek
In
Hill has a
advance.
different type of speed.
He's something else.
I think he has a different type of speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I just weird because you think of the amount of speed in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that he is just so clearly
run
the
bypass
fastest
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like when he has a half a step on anybody, you're like, oh, nobody's catching him. There's nobody in the league right now to catch him.
This is very true.
Yep.
That's very true.
Rivers looked good. I mean, he had 424 yards.
And a lot of drops. That wasn't on him yesterday.
It wasn't on him, and that's the problem with the Chargers. It is somebody said that his wide receivers are trying to keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
Hey, because you watched that game yesterday, I wouldn't disagree.
Because they were dropping a lot, and I mean he's a really good quarterback. Chargers seem to just be stuck in this certain like realm where they're just there. They're not great, they're not horrible, they're just always there, lingering. And he's really good, but I don't know, like what is it with the Chargers that just keeps them at this lingering place called the LA?
They're poorly coached. That's one thing.
They
I was
missed
going to
their.
say that's a coaching
And if you
thing.
notice,
Yeah.
the game was in LA yesterday, correct?
Yeah, it was in LA, all red.
And did you see all red
All
jerseys?
red, all
Always.
red,
But that's
all red.
what happens in that stadium. They don't
sold
have
it out,
fans in
though.
LA.
They did sell it out though. I'll give them that. It was sold out because remember before it would be all red with
30,000.
like only 15,000 people there, but it was like
30,165.
it was sold out with red.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Chiefs fans showed up.
Well, and that's the thing is, you look at most of their games on the schedule. When they play Denver, it will be all Denver fans. When
Yeah.
they play the Raiders, it's definitely
It's
all
gonna be a
Raider fans.
blackout.
So it's just they certainly have no home field advantage whatsoever. When
That's terrible.
I mean that does say something. That does a little bit for you. There's some things that a home field can do for you.
Well, I mean, you got to go silent count at home.
Yeah, 100%.
That's not
Real
Which is
talk,
crazy.
yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
They would have
you
been
know
better
what?
off moving to Vegas and letting the Raiders
Have
go to LA.
I would have liked that a lot more too.
San Diego, the Vegas Chargers.
Sounds better than the Los Angeles Chargers.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. But that's not happening.
we
but
gotta change the name.
listen, I think we all agree the Chiefs are going to be really exciting to watch this year. That's going to be a game I'm going to be watching to see Mahomes and to see if he can maintain this level of play.
To see if he could throw 180 yards in the air to somebody.
I mean, and Tyreek Hill, I mean, Dave had a point, but I want to watch him play as a football player. And, speaking of choking out and beating up girls, LaShawn McCoy sounds like he's going to be safe.
He hired someone to do that.
Well, I mean, they said
He didn't get his own hands
the police
dirty.
are saying there's no evidence right now, or not
Well,
enough evidence.
there
to
isn't
do anything.
actual evidence, but I mean, he did it.
We don't know that.
Thanks, Dave.
I feel like I know it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, Dave.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, allegedly, I'm pretty sure he did it.
All right, moving on to the next game. It was so fun. I mean, it was so good to have football back. Did everybody watch?
Oh man, red zone all day.
Red Zone's amazing.
Not much red zone. I watched a lot of the Cowboy game. I obviously watched my game.
It's a terrible game.
No, the Cowboy game because I am a look. Listen, do you understand the level of hate that courses through my veins for the
But
Eagles?
my thing is
your own
Giants?
game.
My
to watch
thing
the
is
Cowboys?
afternoon
No,
red zone games.
my
Like
game
you're
came on
seeing
after.
all the game. Like you're seeing a lot of the afternoon games on red zone. So, anyways, that's what I like.
But it's always spread out,
Yeah.
so you get to see large chunks of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in the morning, that's the best time. Like the early games, 10 o'clock our time.
Flipping back and
where
forth.
it's- yeah, it just moves.
Yep. And no commercials. Come on. If you guys don't have Red Zone, we're not sponsored by Red Zone, but get it. We need to be sponsored by Red Zone.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right.
Steal it if you have to, because it's expensive out there.
The next game we're going to, and we did our Survivor picks last week,
That's right.
and I'm in limbo. I'm kind of where the Chargers are. I'm just kind of there in a realm because the team I picked tied, and they shouldn't have tied. And
Yeah,
I want
they
to talk
should've
about this
lost.
game. They should have lost. They also should have won because they were up by 14 in the fourth. And the Browns, I think we all admit that they're going to be better than they were last year.
Mhm.
I didn't think they would have a chance against the Steelers,
I
but
did.
they made a comeback, tied the game. There was a whole bunch of missed field goals to win games by both teams, and it was a tie, 21-21. What's to say about the Steelers? I know they still had a good running game, but
I got one thing to definitely say
Le'Veon
about the Steelers.
Le'Veon Bell wasn't there. Who was playing in his place?
James Conner.
James Conner. And
Re-
he had the best. He had a better game than Le'Veon Bell had all of last year. He had 192 total yards.
Yeah, but in an overtime
But-
game, and Roethlisberger was awful.
Yeah,
That was
That's-
that
talk
game
about
was.
that.
That's
I
what it
felt
was.
bad for the talent on both teams because the quarterback play both ways was just atrocious. Taylor is not good. I got a full season of watching him as a Bills fan last year.
Tyrod? How do you
Tyrod.
pronounce his name?
Tyrod.
Well, no, he says it's Tyrod. He said we've always been wrong.
Well,
Tyrod. Taylor.
Either way, he's
it's
not
the
good.
same name.
He's better than what they had last year, but I'll tell you this. That will be I never thought I'd say this. That will be a much better team as soon as Baker Mayfield is their quarterback.
Wow. Which
Baker
Well-
Mayfield is better than he is.
Well, I mean, it's hard to argue when he went 15 for 40. I mean, Tyrod Taylor was 15 for 40 yesterday. That's bad.
Yeah, that's
It
bad.
doesn't
on-
matter who
on-
he is.
on
He's bad.
any,
Yeah.
It
And
was raining.
The worst part is as the Steelers, you lost to a team that's quarterback went 15 for 40. Like, you didn't lose, you tied, but still, it might as well
No,
be
they
a
still
loss.
lost.
And I want to
I
shout
mean,
out
it's-
Roethlisberger's camp for stopping him from saying he wanted to retire this morning. Probably.
He can't have much more left because you looked at that and it's just like he's got receivers. He's got a good tight end. I mean, Connor was playing well.
But it
Those
is
bad
week.
throws are on him.
It is week one.
How much did
So-
Big Ben play during the preseason?
Probably
you know,
not. Probably
not a lot.
hardly anything.
Because you know a lot of people were sitting people. So
Yeah,
how
I
much did
mean,
he play?
who
If he
knows?
didn't-
There's-
if he didn't
Listen, if he's
play-
playing like this still in week 5, then we have a problem. I don't really count this much week 1.
It's week 1. That's why I did not want.
You
my
never know.
picks were so hard
Never know.
because it was like you don't. You know what I mean? Everybody can have a bad week or have a terrific fired up week, and then you go back to sleep.
Yeah.
By the way,
So-
interesting stat for the Browns. This is their best start since 2004.
Wow.
They've lost every season opener since 2004.
Shut up! Really?
Yeah, really.
Wow.
Wow.
This
So
is-
a tie is their best.
This
wow.
is guaranteed the best they've.
It's already an improvement
They've
from last
ended
year.
a game in 2
Rarefied air.
years. I mean, they're like 2-32 the past 2 years. Now they got a tie.
That's tough.
So I mean, hey,
Wow.
things are looking up for the Browns right now.
I think I'd like.
No, don't give them an extra win. They were 1-31.
Oh, yeah.
Don't give them a win.
Just one. But look, I'm looking at the numbers. Like Ben Roethlisberger threw for 335 yards. When you see that, you think like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. But 119 of those
3
was to-
interceptions though.
Yeah.
was
Well,
right. Three.
it was-
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
it was 3 or 4 because it came up as 4 and then they took it away and I guess made it a fumble.
Yeah,
That
one of them
last-
they made
that
a
last
fumble.
one.
either way, that's part of what's so bad. And 119 of those yards was to a guy named Juju.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Hey,
it's
Juju Smith-Schuster is a
He can
problem.
play.
Look at
He
No
is.
Tough
That's what
over
I'm
here
saying.
though. Look at Stats Huff over here. Wow.
Dude, all I know is those were like sometimes interceptions are like you had to take a shot there, and they made a great
Yeah.
play. No, he threw some real drive killers yesterday.
2 fumbles, 2
And,
fumbles.
and speaking of interceptions, we're going to move on to the next game. I was going to try to skip it, but I'll take the heat. Jimmy G hadn't lost a game since ever, and yesterday was his day.
I was hoping for you.
You
too.
know,
3 interceptions. He looked he had some really good throws, and then he had some really horrible throws. So I mean, he's kind of like in the middle.
Here's what I'll say: Minnesota is a fantastic. I'm going to go back
One
on
of the-
all the comments I made yesterday.
One of the best
They're a
defenses.
fantastic team. They're one of the best teams in the league. Definitely one of the best defenses at home. And realistically, he has no
He has
skill
no
position
weapons.
talent.
He has no weapons.
So some of those,
Well, and the offensive
just trying
line
to make a play.
is all beat up right now. So I mean,
I
there's
don't put that
players
so much
missing.
on Garoppolo. I don't think they're a good team. I mean, they're going to have losses this year. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I think Garoppolo is going to get blamed. I don't think it's his fault. I think he's actually pretty good still.
The money worth it or not?
yeah, it will be.
Yes, because somebody else was going to give him that money.
How's it not?
I know you're sad because, I mean,
Jesus.
think
He is not that great. He had a
Well,
good little run.
Cousins, your boy Cousins got his first win.
Whoa, but Cousins had 4 straight years of
Well, that's
4,000
fine. I
yards and
wasn't comparing
25
that. I was just-
touchdowns.
yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah,
he's
but he also had to
trash, but-
throw to come from behind a lot of times.
Oh yeah,
too.
I mean, he was. I mean, I still don't think Kirk is that great, but I mean, his numbers are still his numbers. Can't take away touchdowns, or I mean, you can say how
your
many
team certainly didn't
interceptions
seem
he
to
had.
miss him.
No, not at all. I was very happy
Yeah.
with my result yesterday.
But I think that's the thing that people miss is there. It's always either or. Some people look at the play and the situation, and then other people look at the numbers. And I don't think looking at either one of those are you going to see a complete picture.
yeah, you have to look at them both.
Right. Where when I look at Cousins play, I'm always thinking, man, this guy's terrible. I hate everything he does. But then at the end of the day, his numbers are saying that this guy's a really good quarterback.
Yeah, and you're like, that's
You see
not
what
what
I'm
my
saying?
eyes are seeing.
Exactly.
Steve,
You
that's
see
just because
what-
he's white.
No,
It-
He was
More-
Kareem
more-
Cousins, different story.
I mean, probably. You know what I mean? I mean,
he's just too goofy.
Oh, my
that
goodness.
could definitely be it. I mean, when
And,
you
and,
look at
and listen. Some of the some of the people were talking because Kirk Cousins was rumored a year ago, at this time to be, going to the 49ers before they traded for Garoppolo.
Yep.
So now
Should've
people are
been
like,
2
oh, they
years.
should have got Cousins instead. It's like, look, if you put Cousins on the 49ers yesterday against the Vikings defense
Oh, you guys
with the
would've got
49ers
murdered.
offensive
Worked.
line, it would have been
Murdered.
the same story. There would have been 3 or 4 interceptions, and it would have been the same story.
And a fumble or 2.
Yeah. So listen, I'm glad we got Garoppolo over Cousins all day, every day,
Well, you got
and
a
the money's
younger-
worth it. You have to pay a quarterback that's a possible
Pay him or
elite
someone else
quarterback.
will.
Exactly.
That's tough.
Because here's the thing, especially after they made the deal, they had to pay the money.
Yeah.
Because if not, then you gave up a pick
For nothing.
for literally nothing.
No, yeah, no, I hear that, but it's like, man, were you? My only thing is, were you negotiating against yourself?
No, not at all.
There was too many teams that wanted
Did you
him.
see the
Yeah.
Bills play yesterday? No,
That's tough.
you are.
That's tough.
And going to the Bills against Baltimore, Bills scored 3 points, Dave. Listen, that's
Yeah,
3
late.
more points than I thought
Josh
they were going to
Allen led
score.
him to three garbage points.
And does Josh Allen start from here?
yes.
He has to. If it's not Josh Allen, then you have to be bringing someone in off the street to start.
And I don't. And it could be Colin Kaepernick. He's on the street somewhere.
No, they're not. They're no one. We covered this yesterday in our group. No one's brave
nobody
enough.
will.
That's-
Nobody
that's-
will. They should because Peterman.
is hot.
He
Worst
should
quarterback
not
I've
be
ever
in the
seen.
NFL.
No
That's right.
He
hyperbole.
should not be in the
No
NFL
hyperbole.
at all.
The worst starting quarterback I have seen in my entire life.
I wish he would
Hands
kneel just to
down.
get kicked out of the NFL.
That's horrible.
Like someone just hit his knee, so he has to go down during the anthem. Like get Nancy Kerrigan.
Get him off.
I mean, what's her name?
Tanya Harding.
Tanya Harding's people.
Jim Galooly.
Oh wow,
I
inside
think it was
stuff.
Tim.
another Jimmy G.
Jim, Tim, Timmy G. Anyways, we're not going to dwell on
Timmy G.
Some guy with a lead pipe.
some guy with a lead pipe.
I know the.
Hey, Jimmy
bodyguard's
keeps hanging
name
out
was
those
Sean.
questionable girls. He might need a Galooly to go like hit a
Wow.
girl's leg somewhere.
He can just get LaShawn McCoy.
Oh, now
gee.
LaShawn. Hey, he knows how to hire and work out.
Allegedly.
He don't-
Allegedly.
He ain't like Galooly. Galooly got caught.
the allegedly. All right, so that was 47-3. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. But yeah, Buffalo, I mean, Dave, I didn't believe you. Buffalo was a playoff team last year. I thought you were just overreacting on your favorite team.
Nope.
But Buffalo is by far the worst team in the league. If
Hands
they
down.
played Browns in a 7-game series, they'd lose 4-0.
They get swept by the Browns.
They get swept by the Browns.
Oh yeah, no. The Browns have some guys like Myles Garrett out there. You got Josh Gordon.
Yeah, no, I mean they
Taylor
have skill
Taylor would
position
take
talent.
it personally, so he might look like an average quarterback.
Tyrod.
They're just a bad team in all facets of the game. There's nothing good about that team. The coaches even just look defeated. Like
Did
they
they
know
lo-
they got nothing.
I'm legit asking this for real. I didn't pay attention to Buffalo enough in the offseason. Did they lose a lot of players? Because how'd they go from the playoffs to being the worst team in
They
the league?
lost a couple here and there. Like they're
Richie
losing.
Incognito.
Well, Incognito. That he's
was
a
that
good
a big
offensive
loss?
line. No, the
Solid
bigger loss
lineman.
was their center Eric Wood.
Okay.
Eric Wood retired, and he was actually legitimately good. So their whole line, and they replaced him with guys like Vlad Dukas, who's just he's like the textbook definition of sub replacement level player. You know, it's just they weren't good enough to be a playoff team last year, so the schedule was going to kill them this year anyway.
Yeah.
They took a team that was bad and just got worse. Now Taylor, I think he's very, very average at best, but he's certainly far better than Peterman.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Allen is not ready. I mean, you have to throw Allen out there. If they start Peterman, I don't know what to do. I don't know what you do with that team.
Listen, if
He's
Peterman's
never
even
shown for half a second,
if Peterman's
that he's
even the
decent.
third string, I don't get it. He's just not good. Like it's hilarious
You wouldn't
how
let
bad
him,
he is.
You wouldn't let him run your scout team because your scout team would never get the other players ready because they'd be so bad. He's like, oh no, we're not learning anything from this. Can't learn anything from picking off every pass.
And a game I don't think any of us care about. Bengals beat the Colts.
Oh yeah, it was nice to have Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck's back.
Still has no help.
He has
Still
to
has
play,
a terrible
we,
line.
we have to play him next week, so that makes me a little bit more nervous.
Yeah.
He's still good. His
He's
team
good.
is still bad.
If the Redskins can get off to 2-0, that would be very exciting. But I'm jumping ahead. I'll let you
They
continue
could.
talking about
No,
the
I
Colts.
mean I want to move on from this game anyway. So we'll go to Tampa Bay and New Orleans. The
Good Lord.
defensive game of the day right here.
No
48-40. And hey, I mean I told you guys Buccaneers going to be a little bit better than you think.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick, I said my bad. Fitzpatrick killed it. I mean, he's not going to play like that every week, is he?
Fitz magic.
Fitzmagic.
Listen, he's good at the beginning of every
Fitzmagic.
season. Then teams figure out that he can't throw that far.
Hey, he threw some rocket ships to Deshaun.
He
I'll
had
tell you that much.
417 yards. Thanks, Stats Steve.
Yep.
And 4
Yeah.
touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no, he played great.
21 for 28.
And
Yeah.
by the way, I said before the season, I think he's better than Jameis anyway.
You
Jameis
did.
is bad.
So let's say Fitzpatrick has 4 good games like this. I mean, he's not going to have a game like this.
If they go 4-0 or they
but
go
if
3-1.
if they go 3-1,
Well,
like
it's 3 games. Is Jameis suspension?
Oh,
Okay.
it's only 3. I
Two
But
and one.
forget
I
it.
don't think
Yeah.
they're rushing him back. I think they're perfectly happy to not have Jameis in their lives.
Well, I mean, no.
Go
that-
eat some crab legs, Jameis.
Do you think they prolong this? Keeping Fitzpatrick as a starter.
If he's winning,
Okay.
I don't see why you don't.
When
He's at least a game manager. He's not going to lose. Fitzpatrick is not great.
Yeah.
He had the best game of his life yesterday.
Ever.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I'm not
Play that
disrespecting-
tape
'cause
all
he's
the time for
right.
your
He's
kids
a solid
and your
NFL
friends.
quarterback and always has
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
Right.
However, he
He's not
doesn't
gonna get
generally
you anywhere.
lose you games.
Yeah.
right.
Jameis will lose you games.
Well, so if their defense is solid, which it did not show, he's not going to be able to, replicate
Yeah.
this week in, week out. But they do have. I mean, listen, they have Mike. What's his name? Mike. What's the other receiver they have?
Mike Evans,
Mike Evans.
the guy who made Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And you have Deshaun. So you have 2
Yeah.
high-level receivers. If Deshaun is still able to get behind secondaries like that,
Yeah.
he's still who he always has been. He never was somebody that was going to go catch you 10 balls a game. He's
Yeah.
going to get 3 balls, and one of those is going to be a big, long touchdown. The other one's probably going to be a long reception that flips field position. So if that's what you have, you got enough. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
don't know if you know, if their defense is going to keep them in enough games.
Yeah, no, I mean they didn't have any defense at all yesterday.
And
Neither
that's-
team did.
And that's what I'm looking at with Fitzpatrick. He did this against basically a team with no defense.
Yeah.
Although
So-
their defense was decent last year.
And real quick,
They had some All-Pros
their
there.
upcoming schedule is at home against the Eagles, at home against the Steelers, and then at the Bears, and then at the Falcons. So I mean, this is
Yeah, so
no,
there's
but
a,
they could get it. I don't feel that the Steelers are in any way a team that necessarily has to be feared right now.
no.
But the Steelers.
anytime you say the Steelers' name, there's still a mystique about it. But
Right.
yeah, Dave's right. I mean, they
the
tied the
Steelers-
Browns.
The Steelers should definitely be coming back with, you know, rabid eyes. Like
and we'll see.
they're-
Like we talked about that game, is where is Roethlisberger right now?
I mean, look,
You
man,
know, and
Hopefully
that's-
not near a women's bathroom.
you are on
That's-
everyone's head today.
Death Star Day.
I didn't make any of
That's
these people do
Friday.
horrible things. They did them themselves.
Man.
Look.
Dave just reports the facts.
That's right.
So
Everyone's
And that is
head.
facts.
Oh my God! Look, man.
I mean, he was trying to get everyone. Never mind.
So
All right.
I think Drew Brees 439 yards from Drew Brees, basically 3 touchdowns. Drew Brees can do that, I think, any game against any team.
And he
Maybe
does.
not that many yards, but he does it all the time.
do-
He's
yeah,
going
he
to put
does.
up 3 touchdowns.
But he had
That's
to
what
come
can
back
do.
yesterday, so he
Yeah.
was.
He had to come back, but
was
you know,
airing out.
that's because his team has no defense.
Yeah.
But here's my point: like this game doesn't necessarily say much of anything about Drew Brees. He's just doing what he does. Ryan Fitzpatrick did this against a team that has no defense, and knowing that he's going to have to play against much better defenses coming up, I don't think he's playing the rest of the season. Simply because he's not going to have another 400-yard game. Now, if he has 2 or 3 of these, or he has a couple games where he's putting up 3-4 touchdowns, it's a different story. But I think this is a one-off situation, and it just made for a great game. Any talk of him like sticking around is going to be tough, being that he's only got the spot because Winston is suspended.
But today's point,
you know?
do they really want Jameis there?
Exactly. Would you start Jameis over Fitzpatrick?
Because the NFL is the way it is, they're gonna bring Jameis back. Me personally, no.
At this point,
mean,
though,
but-
they still have that first round money attached to him.
Yeah.
Until
Yeah.
Look, the moment to let go and cut bait was during the summer, when everything was coming out and
Yeah.
you saw where things were going.
They're
If
sticking
they were
with
gonna
him.
do it,
Yeah.
they needed to do it then.
They're sticking with him.
You know,
He's-
not now. But
Yeah.
my guy, my resident Cowboy fan,
Oh gosh.
he's already calling for Jason Garrett's head.
Of course, they're all going crazy,
Yeah.
and they should
Shout out to
because
Tim.
they're not a great team. I mean, you know, and I mentioned it yesterday on the internet. Cowboys have been the nationally televised game every week, and they haven't done anything since 1996. You heard that right, folks. 1996. How many
Facts.
playoff games have they won, Stat Steve?
95
Since
really.
1996.
2.
Didn't they win the Super? Well,
95. The
They-
Niners won in 94,
okay.
and then Dion left and went to the Cowboys, and he won in 95.
Yes.
Okay.
With the team that where Barry Switzer got a ring.
Yeah, where Barry
Yeah.
got that ring, and
Shameful.
then it was never the same after that. I mean, they had solid years, but they were never ever the Cowboys again.
Steve, how many playoff games? Look at Stat Steve with his.
One.
He's on it. How many
One.
playoff games have they won, Steve?
One.
Since
I
1996.
think it's 2, but
Nope.
one.
we're loading up. If it's 3, I'll be surprised. But
It's
one.
not great.
Not 3.
I think they've won 2 playoff games since 1996.
The answer
Go
is
lower.
one.
Cold Steve.
They've only won 1
They've
playoff
only
game?
won one.
That's why
That's for
Cowboys
me.
fans every year they think
Wow.
Cowboys are going to win the
Tim.
Super Bowl.
Tim won.
And my thing is,
Thanks,
listen, be happy if you get to the playoffs and win a playoff game. And I think it's their fans' fault that they're not winning playoff games because you're expecting them Super Bowl or bust.
Oh, I wouldn't say
Just
fans.
just get them into the playoffs, guys.
I think it's an 80-year-old guy who thinks
Dave,
who thinks he built
if you-
those teams.
I feel you, but don't you think the
Well.
Cowboy fans are kind of a little cuckoo?
Of course, but I mean, I hate to say it. There is a reason why they call them America's team. It's not because everybody in America loves them. Everybody in America has an opinion about them. Most of the teams in the league, I think we'd all be honest, we could really care less whether they win, lose, or whatever. But we all hate the Cowboys.
You're either a Cowboy fan or a Cowboy hater.
Yeah, that's why I say
there's no in between.
It is legitimate that
though.
they're America's team because you care about what happens to them.
Because
we would
why?
all love to see them
why?
go 0-16 every year.
Because why though? Because they haven't done anything since 1995,
And people
you still have to hear about them all. They're still
and they're still the national televised game. So they're forcing them to be America's team.
100%.
Honest.
I remember one season before I had Sunday Ticket. Every single week, there was a Cowboys or Giants game available to me on television. So
in Nevada,
which is insane.
Yeah.
In New York you can understand because New York is the biggest market and the Giants are by far bigger than the Jets. But the Cowboys, it's just like that fan base is so large because there's so many bandwagon fans from their glory days, and they had 2 different stretches of glory days that have just created more bandwagon fans. It's insane. I get the people from the area, that's all fine, but just do you all have to be Cowboys fans?
Well, I talked to you about being from Maryland and how many people that are legit from DC that are Cowboy fans. Like
they're
love
everywhere. They're
the Cowboys.
They're
and
all
I'm
over the
like,
world.
yo, have you ever seen the state of Texas?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay, how are
Makes
you a
no
fan of this
sense.
team? Like, when and why did that happen? Is your parent from there? No, we all from DC.
They probably just don't like the racism in Washington.
No, that's not it.
Well, you could boycott the racism, but in some other manner, not be Cowboys fans.
I'm just saying. It's
Gotta
what
be.
it
Come
is.
on, Jerry Jones has dropped the N-word a time or two. Let's be honest here.
See, no proof here.
Completely.
Dave spits a lot of facts, but then there's a lot of no
Oh,
facts.
no,
And
that's
then
pure
there's-
opinion.
Then
That's
flagrant,
pure guesswork.
flagrant libel.
But I mean,
Listen, maybe
Do you
maybe
think
growing
I'm wrong?
up, maybe
Do you
growing
think
up,
I'm
those
wrong?
fans played Cowboys and Indians all the time, and they always wanted to be the Cowboys. So,
Truth.
got to go for it there. Next game, Jags and the Giants. Saquon Barkley looks dope. I think he's going to be great.
no, he's for real.
I really wanted 49ers not to win all those games at the end of the year so we can get them, but it didn't happen.
Just
Who'd you guys-
imagine
who'd you guys
Jimmy G
get?
and Saquon.
Who'd you guys get?
What's his name? White boy.
What's his name?
It was
The white boy.
offensive lineman,
Yeah.
right? Oh, from Notre Dame, right? From Notre Dame.
I believe so.
You're
yeah.
good. Move on. I got it.
Yeah. Which I want to Roquan Smith, but
Okay.
You can play too.
yes, Jacksonville. New York is still New York. They're not gonna do much this year, but seeing Saquon play the way he did, and Odell Beckham just got paid, but I don't think he's going to be the best player on the team. I think this is going to be Saquon's team in a couple years.
Oh, hands down. Well, part of the reason why he's not going to be the best player on the team is when was the last time Eli was good or decent? Eli hasn't
about
been
3 years.
Eli
Call
hasn't
in,
been
Todd.
serviceable in like 3-4 years.
Well, I mean, we
Yeah,
saw
Todd knows that's true.
We saw last year he got sat. He didn't even get a start
Yeah.
for one of the games from a coach that ended up getting fired because of it.
Broke his
which
record,
is
too.
which is so ridiculous. That is so. We should just maintain this record he has just because he has this record
No,
going.
Dave,
no,
he's
no.
garbage.
Dave,
No,
who
no,
played?
no,
Who?
no, no. The reason you maintain
was
that record
Geno
was
Smith
because,
better than Eli
like,
Manning?
Geno
No.
came in and looked
Exactly.
like hot garbage, and it was like,
Well,
oh, yeah,
Geno's
put him
always
back
been
in
bad.
there. And it was like, what was the purpose in sitting
That's the
him?
thing.
Yeah.
There's no one better
Oh,
on
no,
that
it
team
was-
than Eli, though.
That was
That's what I mean.
I'm saying that the decision was bad because of the personnel. The decision wasn't bad
It
because
wasn't
of
a
the
bad
streak.
decision. It was a
Right.
bad.
There
it
were
was just
most
bad in
people
the
never
circumstance.
even reacted, at least that I talked to, never even reacted to the bad decision because it was Geno Smith that was coming in. They reacted, oh, you can't sit Eli. He's got the streak going. It's like the streak shouldn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
You don't sit
No.
Eli because Geno Smith is the other alternative. So it's not like it's a young a quarterback that you're trying to develop.
Yeah, but
if it was a young guy
Yeah.
that sucked, I would be like, you know what? They had to see what the young guy had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eli looked like garbage. Odell's been hurt, so he it was what it was.
Where is Geno?
Hmm.
Is he even
He's
in
right
the
here.
league right now? Stop.
All right, next
Who
game.
knows? Who knows?
The Patriots beat the Houston Texans. Not a surprise.
Texans look solid though.
They did.
Deshaun looks like he's not right from that knee yet, though.
Hmm.
That's the one
He
thing I would
looked
say.
good. He
It was
looked good
nice to see
in the
J.J.
preseason,
Watt
so-
healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't old J.J. Watt yet, but he didn't get hurt.
He ain't coming back to old J.J. Watt. I can tell you that right now.
Gronk looked like
Yeah,
an
I don't think we'll see
absolute
that.
monster.
did.
Tom Brady did Tom Brady things. I mean, their defense looked better. That's why I think that people that think the Lions are going to be good, that the subtraction of Matt Patricia as their defensive coordinator, I think the Patriots are going to be so much better because that guy, I never understood the love for him. Their defenses were always bad with him there.
Yep.
But what do I know?
Stat Steve, what do you got on this game?
123.
Everything is at least from the Patriots side,
Talking to the microphone.
everything on the Patriots side is normal. And by normal, Brady was 26, 39, 277 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, that's probably about as normal as Brady can get. I mean, I've never really seen, well, it's been a handful of games where Brady threw for 400 something yards or he went crazy, but most of the time they're just so efficient. It's just, I mean, they get from point A to point B in the least amount of steps possible, and they score just enough points to win. I mean, other than the one season where they were just blowing people out by 40 points a game, it seemed like they always win by a touchdown or 10 points or less. I mean, they put up just enough.
Well, they have those games where the other team thinks they can win, and all of a sudden at the end it's like,
well,
nope.
the Patriots usually handle people. They haven't. I understand what you're saying. Like the season that they were going undefeated, they were literally rolling through people.
But they've mastered the 17-point butt whipping where it's like
you
won by
17,
17, but it felt like 40.
Yeah. Like you had no choice. You had no hope. There was no hope in the game.
Right. They
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they manhandle most of their games. I don't think Deshaun Watson looked good, but coming back from an injury, this is his 3rd season.
Second
season.
He was a rookie last year.
Why does it seem like so?
He was a rookie last
year because he played so long at Clemson.
He was at Clemson for a minute.
So a second season quarterback. This is his first game back coming from an injury, playing against the Patriots. I saw a lot of Texan fans just mad and upset and calling him trash and everything. And I don't think so.
Which is the other thing too is they didn't have Fuller, so they didn't have their deep threat. They just had. So that meant Hopkins got even more coverage than usual.
Well, look, I'll put it to you just from a Redskins standpoint. That's exactly what the Redskin fans did to RG3. And if they do that, they're going to mess around and mess up a good thing.
And
what do those two guys have in common?
Well, that they're both black. They're both mobile quarterbacks.
I like how he said
that
they're both black.
And that they both rushed back from an injury that technically, outside of Adrian Peterson, no one comes back and is like 1,000% day one. He's the only person that ever came back and then got better for a year. You don't do that. He played really well, and he's still young. Let him develop.
And they had a good game. They're running back 20 carries for 98 yards. That is probably if you would say what's a good running back? That's the number you give. 20 carries, 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? That's a good game.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next game.
They're both teams.
This game lasted 8 hours.
The Dolphins game.
Miami versus Tennessee. No one cared about this game anyway, so it didn't matter that it got delayed.
No.
But yeah, I mean, listen, if you wanted to watch Miami and Tennessee in the morning, you could. And if you wanted to watch Miami and Tennessee in the afternoon, you could. If you wanted to watch Miami and Tennessee
at the night
Sunday night football, you could. So
still going.
If you're fans of those teams, you got to see them in 3 different time
Dolphins
slots.
Fans must have loved it. It's just not only did they get a win, but they got to watch the Dolphins all day.
All day.
I had some friends that were at.
It's like a marathon. Did they stay the whole time?
She stayed. I know that she stayed at least through that first weather delay, but after the second one, I don't know.
Yeah, the second one that would have to be when you call it. You know what? I'll listen to what.
Listen,
happens.
if you play outdoor sport, just keep playing. If lightning hits, it hits.
Well, my thing is lightning always strikes around stadiums. So all of a sudden now it's we're all gonna die.
There's a different level of the lightning, I guess.
Well, no, I think it's more so a different level of the word lawsuits. Back in the day, if you got struck by lightning at stadium, it's wow, man, crazy things happen.
Wrong place in the wrong
you
time.
Should thank the Lord that you're still alive.
You'd be getting that Jimmy G money.
Now, wrong place at the wrong time.
It's Josh Rock Stadium is what you're telling me. It's not Hard Rock anymore.
Yeah, the Williams family will be the
Williams family
part owners of Dolphins. It's
fair, okay.
Hope you like the Dolphins because guess what? They're our team now because we own them.
We own them.
I hope you look good in teal.
Wow.
That's too funny.
Oh, man.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody really cared about that game unless you're a fan of one of those teams. And
Which
So-
are there? Do you know any Titans fans?
One of my
know
friends
zero.
in
I
Canada.
did 1 year. That's all I got to say about that.
What is that?
When they went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay,
Oh yeah,
all
but
right.
no, but you know, what I mean, like consistently.
Yeah.
I legitimately know no Titans fans.
I know one. She
Yeah.
lives in Toronto, and I'm always like, "Why are you a fan of them?" And she's like, "I loved Eddie George," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she's been a fan
That
ever
works.
since.
Yeah, everybody
So-
I know is a fan from that era of
Yeah.
them going to the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
that's like 2 people.
yeah.
But,
R.I.P. Steve McNair, by the way. That was sad.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was bad.
Hey man, keep it at home. Man, keep the drum out your life.
You guys are going in
It's a
on
fair point.
everybody today.
Fair point.
Everybody is up for discussion.
fair
Like,
point.
oh yeah,
It's-
you died. Oh, but you was cheating on your wife. You
Hey.
shouldn't do dirt.
Wow.
Your wife and your mother of your kids probably won't kill you unless you got it coming. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow. Anyways, next game, talking about killing.
to the
I don't know. Josh's favorite game, the game he watched all afternoon. He thought I was going to talk about the Redskins. The Carolina Panthers and Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys looked horrible. I was really upset they scored. I really wanted them to go scoreless.
They looked really bad.
They almost didn't score. I mean, they finally scored near the end. And even with them not scoring most of the game, they still had a chance to like tie the game up.
Their defense showed up. And I think that's one thing that also one, their defense showed up, but two, I think the play calling was good for the Panthers, but Cam does not have a lot of weapons.
No, he has none.
Well,
I mean, Cam has to be like
He has
a
to be
one-man offense.
He's got to
he
continue
really-
to rip the shirt open because that's
but
all he's one
and
by
real
himself.
quick, talking about shirts and ripping them open. Did you see his outfit yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, after the game.
Let him live, man.
Yeah,
I'm a Westbrook fan, so you have to learn to love
that's
things
true.
like that.
Yeah, you definitely.
That,
By
yeah,
the way,
he's-
those are two very similar guys. They're very polarizing to a lot of people. You either love them or you have some really strong feelings about them.
I like Cam, but he makes it hard on you. Like, he,
Oh, no,
he says things where I'm just like, ooh. But then he's like, well, I mean,
you know, but part of it, you know why?
Sorry.
It's because
it's the truth.
I'd say it on this show. Cam's an asshole.
Whoa!
He just
I
is.
hate to say this on the show, but I'm
There's
going to
just
say
no
it
other way to
live
describe him.
on Guerilla Cross
he's
Radio.
super talented, but he just is.
Wow.
I agree.
I'd say the other
We
word.
will
to
bleep that out for the podcast.
No, you let that ride. I was gonna say the other word, but
There-
I'll let it
There's
go.
there's
Wow.
not a lot else to really say. I mean, you just see him like in all of his interactions. He's really pompous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cam thinks nobody thinks more about Cam than
Than
Cam
Cam,
does.
yeah.
That's for sure.
Even his mama.
And
But you know what?
Well, you can tell by the
The
way
man
he
can
dresses.
play.
And
The
this
man
is
can
and this
play.
is just what I was about to say. So obviously Cam Newton, and if you want to fight about this, we can. But Cam Newton is a much better quarterback than
Wow.
Dak Prescott.
yeah, oh, yeah.
No, who
my
wants to
goodness.
fight about
I
that?
mean,
one's
listen,
fighting- no one's
Steve,
taking that
of
fight.
course,
Why-
I'm calling out Cowboy fans. But
Oh, I thought you were talking
No,
about
no,
us.
no, no, but
I thought you were talking about
Cowboy
us. I
fans
thought you were over
don't-
here trying to
Steve,
fight us.
in other
Cowboy
news,
fans don't
water
like
is
that.
wetter than sand.
Steve, I thought there was a little Asian lady coming in. You wanted to fight or something. Like, what's going on?
But here's another stat. Cam Newton
No Asian lady
only
is safe.
had a few less rushing yards than Ezekiel Elliott. So Cam Newton by himself basically matched Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott in passing and rushing.
Ezekiel
As far
Elliott
as
needs to be
yards
tested
are
for
concerned.
marijuana too, because his
That's
lips are
Steve.
black.
Dak
I
Prescott,
noticed that
they threw roughly the same number
Do you
of
want me to come
passes.
after another person.
Uh,
I did it for you on that one.
Prescott had 170 yards. Cam Newton had 161. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 69 yards and 1 touchdown. Cam Newton ran for 58 yards and 1 touchdown. So
He had a good
yesterday,
day.
Cam Newton beat the Dallas Cowboys, basically.
I mean, he beats every team
But
when
it
they
was
win.
Cam.
Yeah,
So
it's
Cam
more
by
so.
itself.
It's more so their defense, and their defense, as long as Luke Kuechly is not concussed, they fly around everywhere. But something
Luke
about
Kuechly got
Kuechly-
hurt yesterday, and I got
but-
nervous.
But once Kuechly gets hurt, their defense falls apart. He
Yeah.
carries that team.
Yeah.
It's Ray Lewis.
So you,
Yep.
yeah,
Or,
Yeah, now,
or
I'm-
sorry, Brian Urlacher.
Like, you can't have a cross-racial comparison.
No. I had to come back and give you Urlacher.
He can't be Mike Singletary.
No.
What about Coach Mike Singletary? Because Coach Mike Singletary was
Totally
white.
different guy. Totally
Wow.
different guy.
Coach Mike was white.
Come on.
Player Mike was not white.
Leave Coach Mike alone. He got a bad rap.
Can't win with him.
Can't
do
do it.
Can't do it.
No, he didn't get a bad rap. He was a bad coach.
No, he wasn't. He was good.
Oh my
He was good.
goodness.
Anyways, and Dak Prescott, I'm just not impressed with Dak.
Because he's not good.
I-
There's nothing
Yeah,
impressive.
that's it.
I think he's hit his peak already.
Oh no, he got people got sick of Tony Romo. When you talk to any like Cowboy fan who knows anything, they're all like, "Man, we were all wrong to Tony
we
Romo."
pushed Tony out. But Tony, I mean, the biggest thing
those
with Tony,
injuries
though,
pushed Tony
yeah, I was about to say the biggest thing with Tony though was that he was at that point now where it was like anytime he got touched, you held your breath.
Yeah.
And you can't be feeling that way about a quarterback. Like you already feel any kind of way anybody gets. Well, at least I do. If I see you get tackled, I'm like, oh, be okay.
Plus,
But-
you already can't win big games, and now you get hurt every time
Yeah.
they look at you too hard. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
time for you to go, bro.
All right, next game, Josh's other real favorite game. And who you wearing, by the way, today?
Sammy Ball,
Slinging Sammy.
You bring him out. It's the woodwork.
slinging Sammy Ball.
Nice. So, man, Redskins looked really good against a horrible team. So, I mean, that is one thing.
Arizona might be the worst team in the
But
NFC.
I'll put it to you this way.
I thought you
though.
were going to say NFL. I'm like, Dave,
No,
we already talked about the Bills.
That's
we
been
already
covered.
Said. No, but look, as far as for the Redskins standpoint, we usually against teams that are terrible, we play down to their level. We don't play well. We don't finish the game. We
You got
allow
Alex
them back.
Smith
Well,
now, though.
exactly. I was gonna say you
You
had
got
two
Alex
words to
Smith.
change that.
Alex Smith. So okay, so this is when
And you're going to be happy with him.
when I watched the game, this is what I saw. One, and I mentioned this yesterday in the group. One, Adrian Peterson is violent. He is extremely violent runner, and the way that he presses holes
with child discipline too.
well,
He's just a violent guy. That's who he is.
well, look, I need some violence. From what I've been watching on my team for years, I mean, Clinton Portis was the last runner that actually really would. He would get the edge. He would actually be patient and running between the tackles. I
Dave
feel
is
like
horrible today. I'm sorry.
What?
I was trying to just hold
Stop.
back.
I watched a lot of
I'm
football
still
yesterday.
talking about the
Fired up.
switch.
Are you still laughing? Are you
talking
still
about the
laughing
switch.
about him beating his child?
Because I was trying to
and putting
like
the
not
leaves
laugh.
in the child's
I was
mouth.
trying to not laugh, and then
Jeez.
I didn't do it.
I mean, look. Anyway,
That's my
but-
response to all these things. I didn't do any of these things.
Hey,
These
Dave,
people did them.
Dave, if we blow up and they put the microscope on you, I'm letting them have you. I'm like, hey, if that's what
That's fine.
if that's what Google's saying,
I have no problem.
if that's
I
what
will
Goo-
stand by any words I ever said ever.
hey, we don't make the news. We just
Yeah,
report it,
if
man.
that's
throw
what
the
Google's
white
telling
man
you.
under the bus.
Dave, I don't know. I don't know what Dave does in his downtime. but I mean, like Adrian Peterson to me was like when the Redskins went out and got Terry Allen back in the mid-90s. He was an older running back, but then everyone said he was done. He was done with the Bears, came to the Redskins, and then he's rushing for 20 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards, and everyone's like, he's 30 plus. How did this happen? And then Alex Smith to me was a more athletic, a more polished version of Mark Brunell. When we went and got Mark Brunell, when Patrick Ramsey just wasn't working out and didn't work out, he managed the game, took what was there, didn't really put us in any bad situations. It was a really good game. The defense looked great.
Yeah.
Injuries was, I mean, our defense last year was terrific up until all of our cornerbacks and everyone in the secondary got hurt.
Well, I think you what you also saw, especially as long as Wentz is out and not right, that division is there.
Yeah,
It is.
I told you that.
Even with the defending Super Bowl champions, that division
It's gettable.
is wide open for the taking. That Alex Smith signing, Alex Smith is a Volvo. He's a really good car.
It's a nice
car.
car.
It's not like nobody like dreams of a Volvo.
Of having a Volvo.
You dream of like a
You fell
truck
into a
or an
Volvo.
SUV
You
or a
fall into
sports car
Go ahead and take this Volvo.
or something flashy.
Take it.
But it's like you take this Volvo and then you drive it and then it's like
That was a good
you know what?
car.
That was the best car I ever had in my life.
Car never let me
It's
down.
Volvo.
You know,
Never broke down.
The Chiefs got a Ferrari. That Ferrari might break down sometimes now.
And it's $10,000 to
The
fix.
Volvo,
Yeah, exactly.
the Volvo did not look that nice next to the Ferrari,
Yeah.
Hey,
but the Volvo was always going to be there.
The Volvo never the Volvo just
Hey.
needs brakes.
it's gonna get you where you need to go for a long time.
Hey, listen, I know you're hyped up on Adrian Peterson, and I hope he has a good season. I like the guy. He is older. There's a reason he was on two different teams last year. He was playing against the Cardinals defense yesterday, so that's why I don't want you to get too excited.
Look,
They don't really have a
listen.
good defense or good anything
Look.
except David Johnson,
I'll put it to you this way.
because their quarterback's horrible too, by the way.
I'll put it to you this way.
Sam They need to bring Rosen in immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Sam Bradford's out there with Twizzlers for ACLs, but that's that's a different story.
Sam Bradford is.
We only say nibs on this show.
You want to know? You want to talk about all time? They are who we thought they were. Sam Bradford. What did he do yesterday? Check down. Check down. Check down.
Nothing there.
All he does is just check down all day. I mean, just yet another guy to besmirch the wonderful name of Larry Fitzgerald. What did Larry Fitzgerald, for such a good man, what did he do wrong in another life or something to get such a horrible run of quarterbacks?
Wow.
Why didn't he just demand a trade a long time ago?
He had his time. He had his time to leave, and he didn't do it. And then once he didn't do it, it was like.
Oh, trust me, there are teams right now who would be like, "Oh no, Larry, you can come over."
Definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
You think with some of the guys the Pats are running out there, Tom Brady wouldn't be like, "Oh no, I could get a good year out of him."
Yeah,
you don't think Cam Newton would take a Larry Fitzgerald?
Oh, good lord, Cam Newton would take an Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella, wow.
Nice job, Dave. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Moving on to the next game, and David Johnson got a contract this week too, or last week. So shout out to them, and coming off the injury where he missed
and he looked like
15 games last year.
He looked like hot garbage.
Something crazy.
Yep, Redskins was handling that. Mm-hmm.
Well, what else did they have to key on? You knew Sam Bradford wasn't throwing the ball around, and their line is bad.
Yeah, he didn't throw it to anybody. Moving on, though.
Moving on. Did we hit all the games?
Did we talk about Denver?
We didn't get Denver and
Seattle, Denver.
I think that's the last one.
Yeah, that's the.
We ran over the Colts.
That was. I mean, I watched a lot of that game on Red Zone. If you don't have it, download it now.
Seattle's best player is their punter.
Look, Russell Wilson was still.
Russell
out there
looked good
yesterday.
Well.
He does. I'm
not a big Russell Wilson fan. I just never have been.
Yeah, hold on, I'll pull up his numbers.
You could do it.
298 yards, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions.
Yeah, 19 for 33.
Those 2 interceptions lost you the game.
But Case Keenum had 3 interceptions.
Yeah,
and 3 touchdowns.
Still, but you
329 yards, 25 for 39.
And took 6 sacks. Took 6 sacks for a loss of 56 yards.
Yeah, that'll kill you.
That hurts.
Yeah.
And Philip Lindsay, he was good.
Yeah, he was.
71 yards.
Keep it there, guys.
Yeah.
Don't let Josh get how he was in the chat group yesterday.
They did enough to win.
What was I doing yesterday in the chat group? Now I'm confused and nervous.
He said confused and nervous.
But no, I think Denver, Case Keenum, while not a great quarterback, is certainly better than the piles of garbage they had quarterbacking for them last year.
Yes.
Plus picking up Chubb.
Was
a huge to put on the other side of Miller. They'll be better. I mean, that division could be interesting. I never trust Andy Reid enough, which I probably should maybe trust him a little more because he is consistently a good coach. But it feels like the Chiefs are going to probably be the class of that division now.
They could be.
Who else is it? It's the Chiefs.
Well, the Raiders are not.
Raiders, that's who it is. Thanks. Sorry.
Raiders, Denver, and not San Diego.
Yeah.
But the Chargers. But honestly, I think that division's, up for grabs. I'm not sure,
The Chiefs definitely have the best team top to bottom.
Yeah.
Depending on what Case Keenum brings. If Emmanuel Sanders is out there getting 150 yards a game, then the Broncos are going to have something to say. But yeah, no, I'm with Dave. The Chiefs have they've got they have talent at every level.
And by far, I mean, whatever you think of, they have by far the best coach in that division too.
Yeah.
Vance Joseph, Anthony Lynn in San Diego is bad.
Yeah.
John Gruden is going to be an abomination.
Well, let's see. Let's wait on John. But
okay.
I can't wait.
How long are we waiting?
I can't wait till we get a Gruden interview in 2 years.
Dave, if the Raiders
will he be
are
back working for ESPN at that point?
No.
Oh.
He has a 10-year contract.
And he's getting paid either way.
Oh no, he says he's going to give that money back.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's move on to tonight's games. We got the Jets and the Lions.
Yeah.
And then we have Raiders and Rams. I'm excited to see these games. Actually, I want to see what Darnold does. What do you guys think about this game?
The first one.
The first one.
The Lions and Jets.
It starts in like 40 minutes.
I think. I mean, look. I think the Lions are basically the Chargers of the NFC. They're a good team.
Yeah.
But you don't count them out, but you don't count them in.
Yeah.
And ever since losing Calvin, they lost that it factor. Like when they had Calvin, you're like, no, the Lions could be a problem.
Gone too
You know
soon.
what I mean? But when Calvin,
What is it with Lions superstars that just exit way too soon?
Because and it's nothing to do with the fans. They like the area. It's a lot of times it's just they beat themselves up so much and then
to go nowhere.
Yeah, you don't go anywhere. It's tough. It is tough, and they get their money, so it's like Calvin got his money. He's like, I don't got to do this.
I think that's an organizational issue that goes from the coaching upward.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think there will ever be a player who was affected by that more obvious than Barry Sanders, where you saw this guy who is greatest running back of all time constantly run the ball down the field, and then somebody say, okay, we're on the 2-yard line, Barry's coming out, we're putting in the fullback to get a touchdown. As a running back, like that sucks, so that's on the field stuff. When you talk about off the field stuff with the management, the back office, where the players have no connection, there's nobody they can talk to when they have an issue. Nobody wants to play there. Nobody wants to work for a place when your boss is just like, shut up and do your job. You know what I'm saying? So that I think is always a problem. And then to go from, speaking of them now, to go from an 0-16 team to kind of be a middle of the pack team and all the work you put in to kind of just be stuck.
Yeah,
right there. And nothing can get you back to the playoffs. How many playoff games have the Lions won in their entire history?
Probably 3. And I feel
you
like
see, you see what I'm saying? So,
and I feel like one of those was the year that they lost to the Redskins in '91.
Right.
And that was in the NFC Championship game.
To be in that position, to know that you got to work just as hard as the team that's going to the Super Bowl every single year.
Yeah.
And to know that
you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah. Our season is 16 weeks and it's over. You know what I'm saying?
And also Calvin had those really bad ankles at the end. And so he basically was just like, look, for what I had to do to play each week, it stopped being worth it.
And where's the help? When have they had more than one really good player at a time? When have they had a good quarterback with a halfway decent wide receiver? You know what I mean? Or when did Barry have any help ever?
Well,
he had Herman Moore. Nice, Dave.
Okay.
He had Herman. He had Herman, and then
Herman Moore.
Herman was really good. And then I'm trying to remember who their tight end was at that point. But yeah, they had a little, but their defense was garbage.
And nobody to block for Barry.
Barry was running for his life.
Barry had to make 3 moves to get out of the backfield.
That's why he leads in negative yards as well.
And all you Emmitt Smith fans, y'all can save it. Emmitt Smith was nowhere near as good as Barry Sanders.
Not even close.
Moving back to the 2000s, we got the Rams and Raiders tonight also. I think we already did this pick on Thursday, but
well, that's my game.
No,
I'm sorry. My game was I picked the Lions versus over the Jets.
Okay, so you still got a game tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I think you're right. I don't think Jets have a chance.
We'll see.
Especially Darnold being first start.
We'll see.
I'm not a Darnold believer.
Indoors, anything happens.
I just don't trust the rookie. I wasn't a fan of his anyways.
Correct.
But we'll see. We'll see what's up. And the Raiders and the Rams. So I think that's going to be an interesting game. I hope the Raiders win, but I don't think they stand a chance. And even though Rams are a divisional team for me, I'm interested to see them play every game all year. You know what I'm saying? That's a team that's stacked. That's a team that is definitely, in the top 3 of Super Bowl contenders this year.
Yeah.
They stacked their team. Their defense is ridiculous. They have probably the best defensive player in the league. They have one of the best running backs in the league.
I wish we had a number. Like, I'm sure we could look it up, but like, how many Pro Bowlers do they have, or former Pro Bowlers do they have on their team, right now?
Oh.
Because like
Stat Steve, check that out.
If you really look at it, like
on
both
Donald,
sides of the ball,
you got Sue, you got Talib, you got Marcus Peters.
Yep.
That's all on defense.
Yeah. Any linebackers?
Probably.
Is Ogletree still there?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think Ogletree snuck in though.
Kind of like, yeah, he's like a half. I'll give him a half a thumb.
Yeah.
Half a thumb.
And then on offense, you have Gurley. Shoot,
Brandon Cooks
Goff could be on his
is
way
good.
this year, but we'll leave him off. Cooks is one.
You know, basically all we're saying
Seven,
is they got players.
7 out of
They got a lot,
22
yeah.
potential spots or Pro Bowl or All Pro in
Yeah.
some instances. Sue has been an All Pro. Donald's an All Pro. Gurley was an MVP candidate. Like
Yeah.
they got problems.
They're gonna be fun to watch.
They got problems over there.
They're definitely gonna be fun to watch.
If they stay healthy, you know how football goes. It's
Yeah,
great.
but the thing with the Rams, I think they have enough. I mean, it'd have to be the quarterback or the running back, but I think they have enough that if a couple people aren't healthy, they can still run things, you know, because they are pretty stacked. But yeah, they're going to be fun to watch, man. I'm excited to watch them, and I'm excited to see what the Raiders do. I mean, they still have a good offense.
Yeah.
Their defense is going to be garbage now, especially losing Khalil Mack, and like we said earlier, John Gruden throwing him under the bus, and the fact that Gruden and Mack never talked is still one of the most amazing things about this whole situation to me, and it doesn't make any sense at all. And you know, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but Gruden pretty much said that, well, he didn't want to be here. He had a contract. He never showed up.
This has been my beef with John Gruden, and without even going into all the other stuff.
You want to fight him?
John, maybe. John Gruden is very, very, very old school, and him coming back, he even made all these little like comments and statements like, oh yeah, we're gonna do I do things the old-fashioned way, you know, like, so for him it's I watch the tape, and if I like these things, then I like that guy. Where you have players in the league now where they basically got engineers and scientists and guys doing analytics and breaking things down, and I mean, they've turned this into a science and a math problem to find out if a player is actually as good as they think they are. Well, now pros and cons, whatever it may be, to if that's good or if that's bad. John Gruden is still the old school guy
where he's
not
even thinking about the analytics.
Exactly. Yeah. So he doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't care about whatever. It's show up and do what I say or leave. Well, the younger people these days don't behave in that way.
Yeah, that like.
And so,
there's a clip of Gruden too, because he worked for ESPN, which ESPN does what? Holds the draft.
Right.
And so there's a clip of him even when Khalil Mack was getting drafted saying that he didn't like Khalil Mack.
Oh wow.
So this goes back,
which is crazy.
This goes back to like there's something, you know, there's something more personal there.
Yeah.
With that, you know. And maybe his pride is just so much that he remembered that, and you know, like I don't want this player. I don't know. You know, we could talk about the money and everything, but
when you don't even sit down and have a conversation with this guy, that says something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got basically arguably probably the best defensive player in the league right now, and
top 5 for sure.
I mean, exactly. You know what I mean? And he wants more money. Your team doesn't want to give him more money. You don't at least want to sit down and say, "Hey, let me hear this guy's side of the story."
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well,
You're the coach.
Let's come to an agreement.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's, you know, to just say, "Oh, we're going to trade him if he doesn't sign the paper or whatever." Yeah. I mean, it looks worse for John Gruden than it does Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
And we got to start wrapping it up soon. So we're going to jump onto other sports right now. And real quick, we're going to Vegas Golden Knights made a trade last night at like 10 o'clock at night. In case you guys missed it, I'm going to let you say his name because I keep trying.
Max Pacioretty.
Pacioretty. From the Montreal Canadiens. He was their captain. Good player. They traded him for Tatar, a pick, and
that Suzuki. Was who you guys gave up Tatar.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing.
Suzuki in a second rounder.
Okay.
And who's the prospect? I
don't know.
It was a prospect that people were hyped up on.
Nick Suzuki.
My thing is, I won't even lie. I know nothing about hockey prospects. So when someone's name is thrown out there and people are going crazy, I can't believe we're giving up our prospect. I don't care about the prospect because I don't know.
Prospects in hockey, it really depends on, like, hockey's not like baseball, for instance, where, you know, you can usually when you get a first or second round pick, those are usually people that you assume are going to be on your team at some point.
Yeah.
Or if you like bring someone over from the KHL, which is the Russian like NHL, those players usually like because that's like right below the NHL essentially. You know what I mean? So like it's very rare that you see a 10th round pick in hockey become a star.
Right.
That doesn't happen
Yeah.
very often. Usually those guys are, if they even make the team, they're like your grunters. They're your guys that are a bottom 6
Yeah.
forward or a bottom 4 defenseman.
So what do you know about Max? I'm gonna get this name right.
Okay.
Pacioretty.
Pacioretty.
There we go.
I mean, look, like I said, in terms of what you all lost in James Neal, he's a Neal type, but with more leadership. He was a captain of a team and a captain of
and
which
flat out
VG
better.
yeah, and
the
player.
Knights have not had a captain yet ever in the history of their team.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and he was a captain on one of the original 6 teams in the NHL.
Yeah.
So there is something to be said about that. Like that's like being the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. They
They're blue.
I mean they it's one of those type of deals.
yeah.
So
Yeah, well, and you could tell they feel confident about it because they already signed him 4 years, $28 million.
Yeah, he got an
they put the
extension,
money in today.
and that's what, reading up on some stuff yesterday from some of the fans and some of the fan sites, people were tripping out because they're like, yo, this dude's a free agent. He could walk at the end of the year. But,
already signed him.
McPhee said that we did make this trade without the deal in place.
Of course.
Okay.
And I think that the thing that gives you the most confidence in this, one, Pacioretty has a history of being a good player. Now, last year, he kind of checked out, as did the whole rest of the team, which is the one problematic side.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they realized that Tatar was a mistake. Even though they gave up so much to get Tatar, they realized this clearly didn't work. So let's
Taylor
not,
Tots has to go.
let's not be precious about it. Let's use him.
And
to
I think
get
from a
somebody
fan
better.
perspective, people wanted to see, like, okay, let's see a full season with Tatar. But obviously, they didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't want him
your
there.
Face.
Well,
He didn't
never
fit.
clicked.
He didn't fit well with the team. But so saying that though, this deal is actually bigger because what we gave up for Tatar.
That's what I would say. It's like that's what you have to think of is Pacioretty was a 1, a 2, and a 3, and a 2,
Yeah,
and Suzuki
yeah,
because Tatar was a 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
So it's
So we gave up a lot to get him. But hey, sometimes that's how business runs, and you have to go through circles to get to where you end up with a.
and never
with a good
forget
player.
they're loaded on picks. The way that they worked the expansion draft to get people
Well,
to
and
give
actually,
them picks and
the
stuff.
pick they just gave to Montreal was their pick.
Yeah.
So they pretty much just gave them their pick back.
Yeah, so that's the situations where you're looking at these things. They worked a lot of these things to be in position to make moves with draft picks because they're still loaded on draft picks over the next couple of years, even with the stuff they've given up.
And there's still Erik Karlsson rumors going around too. So how much would we have to give up for him? And that's the other thing you have to look at. Like, are you just going to start giving up everybody for this dude?
Firstborn.
So, I mean, listen, Golden Knights play their first preseason game in 6 days. I've never been excited. Well, I was excited about preseason hockey last year because I went to their first home game ever. But I mean, listen.
Hey, look. Only
this is
18,000 people can claim that.
And
True story.
Word.
and
A
this
lot
is
more will though.
Oh yeah, I was at the first game.
oh yeah, everybody.
Everybody and their brother was at that first game. Apparently,
Well, I was just at the first preseason.
hey, it's still
But, hey.
that's the first game.
I feel you.
You hold that.
But man, six days away from their first preseason game. Hockey's back just like that. And I never paid attention like this before.
So nice 2
Pacioretty-
days in the arena.
Pacioretty's going to be 30 in November.
Okay.
He'll be 30 in November. He had 37 points last year, 17 goals, 20 assists. So, I mean, you're basically getting a
That was a down year for him too.
it was. Here, I'll pull up a little bit more of his stats. 2016 he had 35 goals, 32 assists. So that's a top 20, top 30 type guy in the league. So, are we going to talk about my man, my former guy Schmitty?
Go ahead.
Man, why am I blanking on his first name right now? But Schmidt, he got suspended for the first, I think it was 20 games for steroids.
Oh,
Was that Smith
Oh,
or was
yeah,
that
I heard about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened.
They're making a big deal about it because some people were saying they actually believe him that
Well,
he kind of gave
my
us
Capitals were like former Capitals teammates were like, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
it was GNC. Yada yada yada.
Was it Canelo? Was it the bad meat?
No. It was a tainted supplement. Like basically,
Yeah.
it wasn't like it was anabolic. It was one of those like, oh, you took the wrong thing at GNC and now you got to sit down.
Well, they said it was
Yeah.
like a grain of salt size
yeah.
sample. So I mean
Yeah.
that's the hard thing. And he got suspended. Nate Smith
Nate,
got
thank you.
suspended 20 games for that.
yeah.
That's harsh. That's a lot of games, but you have to stick to the rules you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it
I'm not
helps.
sure there might be an appeal, so I don't know if they, if there's could be a retest or not.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's crazy about the supplement industry is a lot of it is not. It doesn't go through the Food and Drug Administration. So
Oh, yeah.
I mean, technically, if we wanted to start unnamed sports show creatine,
Who's
we could
stopping
do
us?
it, and there's nobody testing what we're actually putting in it and selling it. So we could put something in it that's illegal and just mark it as our
You about to get swole.
our special mix. You know what I
Swole
mean?
juice.
And there's nobody to argue about it. So to have a small sample size like that, where like you said, like grain of salt size, it's more believable than what was found in Canelo or some other athletes. So
Or deer antler juice.
yeah, a lot of times you do hear like athletes say the same thing all the time. It's
Yeah.
like y'all can't come up with a better excuse.
Yeah.
But his test results actually show like, yeah, he probably is telling the truth, and based on the outrage of teammates and former teammates, I believe him more than
Your
most
average- your
the
average,
average
yeah.
guy who's just saying, oh, they gave me something and I didn't know. Like, now like
Yeah.
nobody's not asking
I
questions.
do feel bad for players though when it's when it is something from GNC, like because they look, but a lot of other players will say, hey, look, you got to know what you're putting in your body, and
But
yada,
there's
yada,
so much
yada.
out there.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what they
it's
should
hard
be doing,
right
though.
now,
You you have to go to your trainers. The trainers know what you can and can't put in your body.
Yeah.
They have an they have full knowledge of everything that you can and can't take,
Yeah,
or where you can go to get the stuff that they can't trace.
yeah.
Shout out LeBron.
Wow. All right, moving on. Speaking of LeBron, we're going to go to the WNBA. Your Washington Mystics, they made it to the WNBA Finals.
They did.
I'm happy that they're losing, though, to the Seattle Storm.
Hater.
I am. It really, honestly, I am, because I'm like, I can't have Josh have 2 championship teams in
but
one
look,
year.
Look, as I said, and I don't
Well,
remember
who
if I
knows
said
how
this
many
on
he
the-
could have, though. I mean, you never know where his
my
next
gosh.
favorite's coming.
Anyway, as I said at the beginning of the summer,
He
when,
might be a
when,
Seattle Storm
no, never. That I'm not.
Sue
just-
Bird,
I'm-
that's my girl.
No, I do like Sue. I like.
Brianna Stewart, shout out.
No. That's UConn. I don't really care for any of the UConn.
Sue Bird
girls.
is also UConn.
Well, Sue Bird was like early UConn though. Like
Still
where-
Gino.
Like I like Maya, and then I like Diana. But,
Those
like,
are all UConn
I-
players.
no, I
so you
know.
like a lot of UConn
No,
players.
listen.
Every player that you're going to name that's good is UConn.
No, listen. I like in terms of female basketball. I've liked Tennessee more. So I would. There would be girls on UConn. I'm like that girl's pretty tough. But I would still be cheering. I was always a Pat Summitt guy. I liked Pat Summitt.
Yeah, me too. She was
But
the best.
anyway,
Definitely.
Anyway, but as I was saying at the beginning of the summer, I was like, look, the Capitals winning, I think definitely changes a lot of atmosphere in DC.
Yeah.
Because everyone was always like, oh, the Redskins were the last one to do it. They got to be the ones that pull us out of this hole, and then everybody else will figure it out. And I'm like, no, screw that. Whoever wins, wins. But when
Well,
the
you knew it wouldn't be
Capitals,
the Wizards, though.
Exactly. But with the Capitals winning, the Capitals should have won for so long. So with them actually doing it, and then that happened. So when I was there, when I was there watching it, it was at a Mystics game. They basically sold out. That was the only sellout the Mystics ever had of Verizon Center. Well, now Capital One Arena, and so they put it in basically they built everything around the Mystics game. And that was when they were playing against Maya Moore and the girls and all that. And I was like, and they talked about it after the game, like just the level of energy that they got from that amount of crowd, that amount of people that were excited to come to a girls game or a ladies game. I think they'll be all right.
Women's game.
Yeah, women's game. I say ladies. I don't say guys. I don't say
You don't say gentlemen's game.
Yeah, I don't say men.
I do.
I always say like guys or boys. I don't discriminate that way. But either way, Sarah,
you did have to.
Sarah actually was getting
You'd
on me
have to
the other
tell
day
us.
too, because I said girls, and she was like, "It's women," and I was like, "Ladies, then? All right." It's like, come on, girls. Like
Those chicks playing
no,
ball.
That I would never do.
Yeah.
Those chicks running
that-
up and down the floor.
That's a bit different.
I tend
And
to,
the finals is a 5-game series, right? So,
Yeah, 5. So we got one more, and then
But you're
that's it.
going home, right?
Yeah, it's home. It's home, but it's not at Capital One because they're renovating.
How does WNBA have a team in Seattle
Oh,
and not the NBA?
well because the WNBA team.
How long do you want to make this show? Because I can really go off for a while on
but
this.
the WNBA team they split. It wasn't the same ownership group anymore. So when that ownership group sold to the people that took them to OKC, the other people kept the Storm, so they kept them there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Still
Short
playing
version,
in Key Arena, by the way.
Yeah, which has been renovated.
Not renovating enough for an NBA team.
But they're talking about renovating it like another.
They need a new
No,
arena.
they would have to have a new arena.
Yeah.
It's not worth getting into.
All right, and
Fair.
more WNBA news. The Las Vegas Aces got the Rookie of the Year. Asia Wilson got Rookie of the Year. I think it was unanimous, maybe?
It was unanimous.
It wasn't. It should have been.
Yeah. So she tore it up, man. I got to watch her live. I only went to one game, and honestly, I had a great time there. So next year, I really do hope, we can go to a lot more with lanyards around our necks.
Yes.
So we will do that. Josh sent me the link. You know how far I got to scroll up to find that link?
I'll send it again.
Please send it again.
My goodness. I was like, do you want me to do
text
it?
it to
Just
me.
tell me to do it, and
Just
I'll
text
do
it
it.
to
But I
me.
probably need a unnamed email. Don't be having me out here like from Josh Williams at Gmail, like talking about like, yeah, we have this great show.
Josh
Like,
Williams at hotmail.com.
yeah, you're not getting a badge, sir.
J.Williams
J. Will.
5567 kid at hotmail.com.
Try to work it so we could see the GOAT Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, see, I mean, but
No,
look,
we'd be able to get
we
into
go
every
to any
game. Yeah,
No.
we'll be able to get into
Diana
every game.
Taurasi is the
You're
best
like,
one
you're
of all
like,
time.
I won't be going to the rest of these
No,
games.
these are media passes.
Oh man.
No, honestly, I've watched probably more playoffs than I have in a long time since. I used to watch Sparks a lot in the playoffs, but I've watched a lot of other games, and it's been entertaining. They could play, and sometimes it gets sloppy and stuff like that. But yeah,
We should put
Think
in
about-
for the Knights games.
yeah, we definitely should.
No,
We need to put in for everything.
I
We
think
should.
We should, but I think we'll do better when they start tailing off a little bit.
No,
Putting in
no.
for the Knights games right now
Hey.
is a losing effort.
Still can
worst
do
thing
it.
they can say is no.
And
We'll talk about that off air,
Look, we can and also, I mean, all we have to do is, does anybody have a camera? You have a camera and
Of
and a video?
course.
Cool. We can be out. We could be down on the ice.
Yeah.
We don't even have to be up in the press box.
Yeah.
Just bring a coat. It's cold.
All right.
Just
Steve,
just
ice is cold. Find that in your stat book.
Shh, no.
Well,
Look,
All right,
Quan
we're-
knows how
water
cold it
hits
was.
32
That game.
It's cold.
degrees.
It's
It was
cold.
freezing in there.
My little Laker
We were in there
windbreaker.
like, hey, it's cold up against this ice like this.
It's like, all right, third period starting, time to go.
So
Don't care
cold,
much about
So cold, I want to go home.
college hockey. All right, moving on from that, WNBA. The next game is tomorrow, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah.
In Washington. So make sure you check that out. Watch one of the games because it's going to be over soon. And real quick, NBA quick segment. Devin Booker had surgery on his hand. We don't know when this injury happened.
yeah.
So Josh was saying off air, if this is something that has been going on, for a while, why not have surgery at the beginning of the summer instead of pulling the Shaq and waiting till,
I got injured
Did-
on company
hold on,
time.
does
I
this-
get summer surgery.
Does this
on
by
company
any
time.
chance have anything to do with like that whole thing in the hotel with Ulyss? And
I forgot about
him
that.
having to
I
run
forgot
out?
about that.
No,
Stuff
no,
like
no,
that?
no. Remember that was old footage that just kind of came to light. That wasn't.
Was it?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that
it was like a year old.
Yeah, I believe that was old.
See, I was mistaken. I thought that was fresh.
No,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
it was
no,
like
that,
a year
Yeah,
old.
that was like old.
Because the
news.
team had already known about it. So
Yeah.
that's why nothing was really like a big deal to them because they
Yeah,
had already.
I that's right. And the word was Booker didn't like hit anybody. He was
Yeah.
just standing there being tall.
He was just thugging it
Thugnificent and
with his
running.
hoodie on.
Yeah.
In the
Uh,
mask.
So I don't know. That might have been his signing hand, though. I mean, he had to sign a lot on that big contract he just got.
Yep.
So, which I still think he was overpaid. I mean, he could be great, but at the same time, when someone gets paid like that, and then they decide to have hand surgery 2 weeks before or 3 weeks before training camp starts.
Media day.
A little weird to me.
Yeah.
And speaking of training camp, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to have a full Chicago Bull lineup. They just signed Luau Deng to the Wolves. So now with Derrick Rose,
Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson.
They're about
Luau
to sign
Deng.
Joakim Noah for sure.
They'll get Joakim.
They have talked
He's
about
available.
Noah.
He's very available.
No, he will. I promise you, he will be there.
That's crazy.
Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
They have a Bulls team that, first of all, couldn't win in the East.
So why are you gonna win 8 years later in the West? How is
think
that?
Everybody's
possible?
older. Everybody's more hurt and beat up.
They're a bad situation there, man. I'm
What
telling you.
are they doing right now?
That's bad.
That's why you don't put the coach in charge.
Oh my gosh!
Especially not that coach.
Listen,
Yeah.
Thibodeau has to go soon. It's, and we've talked about this before. And we're going to talk about it in our NBA preview show in 2 weeks. But it's either him or Cat. And I have a feeling Cat might try to bounce pretty quick because I don't
shoot.
think he likes the
Well,
situation
Cat's gonna have to get Jimmy Butler out
at
too.
all.
Yeah.
Which Jimmy Butler, I mean, he has one more year on his contract, which could possibly be traded. But I don't think Thibodeau. If you're signing Luau Deng, you're not trading. You're not trading Butler.
You're gonna trade the better, younger version of that.
Exactly. You're not doing that. So I don't understand what Minnesota's doing. I mean, shout out. I mean, it's a reunion, so you're not winning anyway, so might as well just have a reunion tour with your former players.
If you're gonna suck with people that you like.
Exactly. Suck with people that you like. Yeah.
Oh,
Don't.
that's what
You
she
don't
said.
have to.
That's what she
Yeah.
My hand was over
I was
the
like,
top.
oh, wait,
And then I'm like hearing my mom's voice in my head, how
Wait
she
a
was
minute.
talking about our That's What She Said segments, that she doesn't like them. But
She doesn't like him.
No,
That's what she said.
my mom said that. That she didn't like them. All right, moving on to the next topic before we bounce out. And, we were going to talk about this more, but I know Steve has
You're
notes.
too
So
afraid?
we actually moved this segment from
Nice.
segment 4 to segment 8.
Thank goodness.
Serena Williams,
Put Steve.
she
on a
lost
pitch
in,
count.
in the finals of the U.S. Open to, I can't remember her first name, Osaka.
Naomi.
Naomi Osaka.
And she's
Osaka.
really good. I think she's going to be a name. She's not one of those people that just won a tournament and kind of fades off.
Yeah.
No.
She's going to be around for a while. She's
This
only
is her-
20 years old.
Her second.
She was ranked number 20.
Let's
Yeah.
remember also this is women's tennis. Most of the time, unless your last name is Williams, in this last decade or so,
Yeah, well,
you're in
15.
and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're basically that 20 seed that everyone's always like, yeah, former such and such winner, and you're like, oh, that's right, she did
Yeah.
win the French.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
but you,
yeah.
but you know
And
what I
actually,
mean?
we do have to get going, so we're not going to be able to talk about this subject, but I'm joking. I know,
It's like, wow.
no.
I know you got so many.
Snap.
Oh,
Steve,
no.
Steve was about to fight me like an Asian woman.
Wow.
That's 2 Asian sightings today. Somebody had a problem. And
No,
it was a big problem
know
in
about
Little
Steve?
Tokyo.
Have you seen his
Have you seen
Facebook?
his stuff?
oh,
Have you seen
gosh.
Steve's work?
He's always trying to fight little Asian women at
I'm
work.
not
Asian
trying to
women,
fight
he's
little Asian women.
Oh, Steve.
At all.
Are they
so
big
those
Asian
are shots
women?
At you then,
Steve, if they're
No.
big Asian women, those are called,
sumo wrestlers.
well, they're called men.
No, I haven't had any problems with like altercations with Asian women.
We got your Facebook.
There
Your
was-
Facebook is
we got
lies
screen-
then.
we got
There was
screenshots.
there might have been one. I'm trying to think. What are y'all even talking about? There might have been one instance where I got into a.
You don't even know
An
who
argument.
you
You have to
fight
narrow it
anymore.
down?
Like,
You don't even know
I
who
gotta
you
go
want to
back
fight
and, like,
anymore.
Find out, but yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure at some point there was. I've been doing this for so long. I've probably wanted to fight an Asian woman at some point, but more likely it seems Asians want to fight me, which I don't get. But whatever.
Probably because you want to fight their women.
Yeah, I mean, I'd want to fight. I mean,
Listen, if
I don't
you,
like
if,
my chances against you, but
if you're fighting
you're coming
Asian
at my wife
women,
or something, I would have to, not let that happen.
Have to handle some
Not-
things.
their
fighting
family is
Asian
gonna.
women.
Although, granted, she would take you out faster than me.
Yeah, their family is gonna avenge them, Steve.
I'm,
in this life or the next.
Yeah, man. You don't know who you're messing with.
Yo, I hate that you set me
Oh,
up for that.
gosh.
That's even worse. Like I was like, I have to say this,
I have to say,
and that's even worse.
I have to say it.
That's horrible.
Where do you think the martial arts come from, Steve?
They don't come from the white man.
No, definitely not.
All right, Serena Williams had a meltdown, according to the New York Post, against the ref.
Chair umpire.
Same thing, ref, chair umpire,
Yeah.
Chair
official.
This guy.
He sits in a chair. He's a ref. The chair ref.
He has
The
no
guy
whistle.
the sitting guy.
He has no whistle.
And listen, I'll let Josh go ahead and explain the story of what happened, and then
I don't know. Steve had the see. I turned it. Well,
Let
okay.
him get loose.
All right. So basically, I'll preface this all saying that as a Serena and Rafa are my two favorites on the tour, and that's been that way for probably about a good 10, 15 years now. So on both of their matches, with Rafa, he wasn't playing well, and then once they started saying he was hurt, I turned that game off. Similar with Serena, and as I said last week, she hadn't been starting matches well at all during the entire run. So that was normal. But she also wasn't making adjustments. You know what I mean? Usually she would start slow, and you could tell because her serve numbers would be down, and then her serve numbers would start getting higher and higher as she was getting loose. Basically the match wasn't going her way. She lost the first set, going away. She lost two breaks. And so I was like, okay, all right, she better wake up if she's going to do this. So the second set starts, and so she basically, there was a point in the match where Patrick, I forget how to pronounce his last name. Patrick M, her coach.
Yeah.
He motioned Serena, they didn't show it. They showed it after the fact, but he was motioning to Serena to come to net. He was basically doing this to say come forward.
Yeah.
And so Serena, because Serena was on the far side of the court, so this is basically seeing someone on the other side of a basketball floor and seeing what they're doing,
right?
With their hands, and their hands aren't up doing anything like this. He basically was right here, so she thought he was giving her a thumbs up, you're okay, keep going. And so the chair umpire gave a coaching violation, which is essentially a warning, but you're placed on a clock. If anything else happens, you're essentially screwed. But in tennis with those kind of things, those things don't happen. So with a person like Serena, with any tennis player, tennis is a game very much built on emotions.
Yeah.
If your emotions go unchecked or untapped, you either rise to it or it completely folds you and you're unnerved the rest of the way. And so Serena was immediately upset, and so she came to clarify with the chair umpire, look, my coach was not coaching me. He was giving me a thumbs up. We don't have hand signals.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose than cheat.
Yeah.
Just so you know. And so then she went back and then went to work.
Right.
And so everyone the Chris Everett and Patrick McEnroe were not Patrick, John McEnroe were talking about basically okay, this is the moment that she's about to get you don't want to get Serena fired up.
Yeah.
Right.
She's already not winning. You don't piss her off. You piss her off, she could start this whole thing could turn.
Yeah.
And so it did for about 2 games, and then Naomi started playing well again, and Serena wasn't making adjustments. And once that happened, I turned it off. So that's where I'll turn it over to Steve, because I don't know the sequence after.
Well,
that.
and part of it is now people are saying, was it a sexist move by the
chair umpire
to take the game away? Did Serena overreact? Because she was going. This was going on for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
this
it
was going on for a while,
yeah.
and people are comparing it to John McEnroe never got kicked out or never got talked bad about, and he did all the time. I mean, he was not a light player back in the day.
Jimmy Connors neither. The same thing.
Exactly. So, listen, tennis player, it's a one-man sport. You don't have a team. You don't have anyone else to yell for you.
Yeah.
When this anger comes up, and she broke her racket. I mean, there was.
But that was the part I was about to get into. The breaking of the racket was definitely based on play, not the judge.
Yeah.
So it was.
That's a code violation.
Right. You know what I mean? It's technically a code violation. But again, all of these things are things that happen regularly. And I won't say regularly, but they happen enough.
They happen enough where people see them.
That people have seen them, and you've never seen necessarily the chair umpire respond this way to this happening. And that's the issue. So when she broke her racket, he gave her a point. He took a point from her. And she said to him, you stole a point from me, you're a thief.
This is after a few
right,
more,
and this was
longer
after
exchange.
yeah, this was after an exchange because she was basically like, I feel like her response was more, why are you doing this? Why are you treating me this way? Regardless of what she was actually saying, that was her response in it. And then he gave her a violation for verbal abuse, which resulted in a whole game penalty. Yeah. And now, of course, after the fact, she's being fined or whatever.
17,000, I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 17,000.
Yeah.
So,
but she did keep. In my mind, she kept going. But I've seen people.
Well, she asked for the.
I've seen them talk
official.
about or talk to each other, and sometimes get heated. But this didn't stop for a long time.
But here's why: because like you guys said, it's easy to take the guys who have had big names and they're known for bad tempers and all that, and to compare this one instance to those guys, kind of their careers of doing this. But coaches do what her coach did or what he's being accused of doing all the time, and there's never a penalty. People, break rackets or whatever, they may get a warning or something, but there's never a penalty. So for him to act this way, not just in a match, but in this spectacle, in a final, and the way that they were playing, where both of them have a lot of power, they're going back and forth at each other, there was no coaching that Serena was going to get that was going to change anything. And a lot of people can argue that, but trust me, in this match, it was Serena versus this girl.
Well, so, like I said earlier, the biggest thing, because Naomi doesn't move well, so Serena can play. She can play every kind of match you want. Because she can serve and volley. She's the greatest of all time, but she has a lot of different tools in her toolbox.
Right.
And that was one that if she would have stuck with that or started bringing her to net more, Naomi couldn't. She doesn't like to move. Right. So if you do that, if she would have stuck with that, could have been a different match. But neither here nor there.
And the biggest issue is that obviously there have been men who have spoken to this specific judge and said way worse things than what Serena said, and they didn't get anything. They didn't get any penalty or punishment, or at least not to this extent.
Yeah.
And so I personally don't believe it's necessarily a race issue, but I do think it does have something to do with her being a woman. I think that Serena is being looked at.
Real quick, does it maybe have something to do with, you said, I mean, I don't know this ump. I have no idea who's talked to him or who hasn't. Have they talked to him on this platform where he knows everyone's watching? Was he embarrassed a little bit to have someone keep going at him to where he finally did something about it? I mean, if that's happened before, was it other matches where it was like a low-key match? Because, I don't think Serena was 100% right in this situation. She was going crazy, and I was watching it live, and I'm like, yo, you need to.
Well, when I finally watched it, I was like, she's a little emotional. She was a lot emotional, actually.
Don't say that about a woman.
Well, no, it's okay. I didn't say crazy. No. That's the word you don't say to a woman. Thank you. She was a little emotional. And that's fair. I mean, she was crying, and I could tell that she was very upset. But I felt like sometimes, especially when she starts to. But look, you can flip the coin before I even say it. When you start to, stand up for women's rights and those kinds of things, it can come off a little like, come on, it's just a call. You know what I mean? Like, as a guy. Yeah. But I can say that Serena and Venus have done more for, equality on tour, because since they've been there, they were the main ones fighting for equal pay. Yeah. Because Serena would always say, you're charging the same amount for my tickets, for my matches, and I'm selling this place out as much as you're charging for Andy Roddick and all these other guys, and they're getting double the amount of money. Like, that's not fair. And so they've done a lot for equality for women's tennis. So I can definitely champion that. But when she got emotional and she went there, almost immediately, it would be like me and you having an argument, and then I go low, real fast in the argument. It's like, what the heck prompted that?
Well, because this is why. And she said it in her response, you're accusing me of cheating.
Yes.
I don't cheat.
And I don't cheat.
So of course, you're in a match, you're losing, and then you get accused
of cheating on
top of that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But if it looked like it could have been cheating,
well,
you can't just take someone's word for.
But
real quick. I didn't foul. Like that happens all the time in sports.
basketball,
You're not
yeah.
going to admit,
Okay,
like,
right.
hey, yeah, you're right, I did cheat, my bad. Or, hey, yeah, I did
was out
foul
of
him. I
bounds.
actually fouled him 6 times before you called the foul.
I touched.
You know,
I touched.
in
course.
sports, you don't admit when you're doing something wrong.
Of course, that's not going to happen. Where even if they were cheating, saying that, but her and her coach admitted, look, this is something I didn't do anything. He said I didn't do anything that I don't do at any other match at any time, and I haven't done many times before.
Well, and the coach,
And-
Patrick actually came out like right after the match and said, yes, I was coaching her. And then when Serena went into the press conference, she didn't know that he had said that. So when they asked her about it, she was like, well, me and Patrick gonna have to talk
Yeah.
because like. No,
Because he
that's
told
not-
the truth.
Yeah, well, no. Like
that's the
no,
thing
Come
is-
on, man.
it's
No,
not. It's
I'm
not.
not disagreeing that it's wrong in how she was handled and that it's not a double standard. But come on. It's one of those like unwritten rule type things. Like, come on, you know we all do it. We're gonna have to talk. The coach told the truth. Serena's trying to protect the overall image,
Yeah.
which is her right. She's the best of all time,
Yeah.
and she could say all the things she wants to. No, I will tell you the thing that made me not believe her in this case. Not saying she wasn't wronged by the fact that, and not saying it's not a double standard. Thing that made me not believe her is when she said, "I'd rather lose than cheat." That's when I knew she was overcompensating. That's an
Well,
overcompensating statement.
That's I mean, like, look, in a game like tennis, especially like, you know, when you watch Serena, she does a lot of things on the court that speak to her, like her fair play and different things. Like whenever, you know what I mean,
Right.
like she always is waving to the other side, like, oh, my bad, or you know what I mean. There's a lot because like she actually does a lot of stuff that I didn't know what she was doing, and I actually had to start Googling it.
But
because I was
wouldn't that
like,
make the best cheater, though?
Oh,
But
course
here,
not.
here's
I'm
here's
not
my
saying she did, but
But see, this is what I'm saying.
You ain't
like,
cheating, you ain't trying.
like
We've
as
said that-
much
said
as
it a million times.
as much as she's won, it's not like she was undefeated and she can't handle a loss. She's lost many
Well, at this-
matches,
at this
and at this
stage.
stage, she's
Yeah.
lost plenty of times before. So there's nothing.
well, she was down
there.
big in this whole match when all this
and that's what I'm
happened
saying.
anyways.
Like so there's
she was
nothing.
probably going to lose anyway.
There's nothing to say that like her behavior is because she was losing. Like
Yeah.
she's lost before and there was this behavior. I believe this behavior is simply the way that the chair umpire was interacting with her.
Yeah.
We've all had a person who
or an
a
official.
boss or a manager or you played in a game and there was one ref where every call he did was just against you, or the way it's not necessarily sometimes the call also, it's
Yeah.
the way that they
The
talk
demeanor,
to you,
yeah.
their demeanor about it, and everything that I've read and seen about this, everybody is against this chair umpire simply because this has happened
I haven't
with
seen
That's not
everybody.
true.
I haven't
Well,
seen
not- I don't-
everybody at all.
Maybe not
yeah.
everybody, but I would say there are a lot of
I
people who
definitely
are
think
saying,
it's
look,
split.
they're not there are plenty of times these same things have happened with men and he didn't do anything about it. There are things he could have done to de-escalate the situation and instead he just imposed his will basically. So
But is it his job to necessarily de-escalate if someone's screaming at you? It's not like he was really screaming back. He wasn't giving her the same thing she was giving him necessarily. And I think we just the sensitivity of where we're at as a country and as people these days, we have to be careful to just throw everything out right away as, oh, that's sexist, that's racist. I think that's where we're getting now with everything. And that's the fine line that kind of has to, like, we have to be careful with because we
all
can't
right,
just
so-
throw that out there.
Everything,
Every single time.
even if we take that aspect of it completely out of it,
But that's not what's out.
His still-
That's not what this is about, because she was pretty much saying he was being sexist and
Okay, but
okay, so let's say he wasn't being sexist. Let's just say that Serena's a man and he was doing this, right?
Yeah.
I still believe that her response, even if that was a man, to what he was saying and what was happening, basically being accused of cheating, I think that response is justified. I think her asking for a rules official or whoever she was calling. I think, because see, most of what she was saying was things along that line. It's not like she was just standing there going off on him about nothing.
Yeah.
She was asking for a rules
she was
official.
she was asking for
She's
questions.
for basically
and, so
like,
then,
yeah.
and then she was like basically like, no, I deserve an apology because of what you're doing.
right.
And he didn't buckle on anything, so it was like that's what kept it going. Like he wasn't like, he's like, I'm not apologizing. And it's like,
but why is there going to be an apology if he feels like what he did was right?
well, look, but
You don't need to
if he
apologize
apologizes,
during
then he
a
has to automatically say that he was wrong.
yeah,
If
exactly.
he doesn't feel that he was wrong, why would he apologize?
Yeah, that to me doesn't make sense.
but okay,
and
but,
for her to demand an apology on like right then and there is like,
Yeah, no,
you're taking away from the game now. Like you're doing.
I said,
I mean, there was an actual 100% sexist thing that happened earlier in this tournament. It wasn't to Serena.
Oh yeah, no, to
one
the lady,
and penalized
yeah,
for
because
adjusting her top.
She put her shirt on backwards, and so
I
she
did see that.
she
She had a
literally,
sports bra
didn't even
underneath.
take it
Yeah.
off. She like put it around her neck,
like-
like we
like-
all would do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Flip it around, put
in
her
the same
shoulders
tournament
And
where the
dudes can
humidity
take shirts all the way
exactly,
off,
in
yeah.
the same tournament where
All
the
the way
dudes,
off, and
like the
chill.
humidity had their like Djokovic. When
Yeah.
one dude was going to the back to take his shirt,
Every-
Djokovic just sat there with
Yeah.
with his shirt off. I mean, that's actually
And that's 100%.
legitimately
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
sexist.
Yeah,
So I mean, the Serena things, I think it definitely leans to a thing where the guy would have taken it and
Yeah.
not done it with a male player. That's opinion. You know, you can be technically right and not right.
Yeah.
You know, he's correct, but he's not right.
Right.
So
So
it's one of those. If it was carried out over all the players that scream at people, and
Different
they all
story.
were docked it, then that's
Okay.
one thing. But
And
in this
listen, when you
case,
take
it
the
was
cat
another.
suit away, Serena gets a little weaker. So you got to give her her superhero uniform back, and she'll be winning
But
these things with no
I
problem.
think the biggest thing is it's just the stage. It's Serena. It's everything that goes into it was. It amplified something that didn't necessarily have to be at this level, and I think he to do that at that point. It's like calling a foul at a particular point in a basketball game. There's sometimes
Right,
where you have to swallow the
right.
whistle. It's like
right.
you don't make your point
just to make it
in the championship of a
Yeah.
tournament.
And that's ultimately
what happened.
my issue with it is he took this point to let it be known I'm the ump, I run this, I
Yeah.
rule this, and it's like, dude, this is supposed to be about Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka playing a tennis match against each other.
Yeah.
And the story leading up to that is so amazing and so great. And we don't know it. Most people don't know it. Most people haven't even heard it because we're talking about this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's what sucks. Because
but is that all on the ump, or is that on Serena's reaction
it's
to it?
on
Also,
the ump, and I think it's
on Serena's
people's,
reaction
I think it's
too,
on
bro.
people's response to Serena's reaction.
no, there'd be no response to her reaction if there wasn't a reaction like that.
no, look,
And
Quan,
it went on.
Quan,
Listen,
so
this
the
went on.
championship
This went on for 10 minutes.
But wait, Quan, I'll tell you why you're wrong. Because the reason that I agree with Steve on this is, one, this is in New York. Two, this has happened to Serena already multiple times on different levels, different things with people in New York. Three, once you have, like, New York being American, we already are a little more of an unruly bunch when it comes to tennis. Once you lose the crowd, because when he did it, when you do that as the ump and everyone's like, wait, what just happened? Oh,
Right.
no. They already were on edge. So the second anything went left, that robs this girl, Osaka, of her moment. They booed everything.
So Serena
From-
has nothing to do with that.
No, I mean, look. She has something to do with it just because she was the other person that it happened to. It wasn't necessarily just
So her reaction,
because of what she said to him.
her reaction is 100%.
No,
okay.
no.
Okay,
I
so-
said that it wasn't.
All right, but you said I was
Okay.
wrong when I said it does have a lot to do with it.
No, but what you were saying, go ahead and say what you said the first time again.
I think that's what I said. You can't say that Serena's reaction to it had nothing to do with what the problem was with the match or with how it went down.
Maybe you said it differently.
It
It did. She was of course culpable.
Yeah, and that's
But
all I want.
But it's not. But it wasn't like she was the only reason. That
I
this
didn't say
went
it's the
off
only
rails.
reason. I'm saying like she has responsibility in this also to TOO. She has responsibility also with this.
She did, and
She helped put the light all on her.
She
in
actually
this
did,
match.
she actually did a lot to try to take the light off of her.
She did
after the fact,
After the
but
fact.
I mean,
After
at
the
the
fact
same-
when the light was already off.
But at the same
was
time,
too late.
It's too late at that
when
point,
you're
yeah.
but when you're in that situation where you're in at this point for either of them, it's the biggest match. They're playing a U.S. Open championship. It's the biggest.
One-on-one.
It's a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
And something like that happens, you don't have a team out there.
Yeah.
There's no coach that's going to yell at the ump for you. There's nobody to go to bat for you. It
But
is
you.
the person you're playing against, and the ref. So if you have a problem with something
Chair ump.
that the chair ump is doing, then you are the only one who can say something. Her coach is not allowed to get up out of the stands
And do
run
anything.
down there and
Do
say,
anything.
"Hey, stop treating my
and
player
as a
this way."
one-on-one
You see?
sport player, sometimes you have to bite your tongue
But if you
sometimes
feel like,
you don't though.
But
That's
see,
the
but
thing.
look,
But
Quan,
sometimes
Quan,
you
if
do.
you lose a game though off of some nonsense, oh no, you have every right to be irate. You lost a game. Especially I don't even know if that was a game when she was on serve or not. Because if you're basically breaking my serve
because we're not talking
because of
about
how you feel,
Right.
I'm allowed to be irate.
we're not talking
over
about
this.
just one call, but
Yeah.
2 calls
Yeah.
and then a 3rd call. That's
Yeah.
the thing that I think people are like, oh, she's flipping out over 1 call.
No, it was multiple,
he continued to
multiple
make things
instances.
that he should have probably just let go and be a part of the flow of the game, and he decided to step in and say, nope, not going to allow that either. And that's the part that
Yeah. That's true.
that makes it so that okay, now I understand why Serena was so upset.
Like I
One-
said, if she
yeah.
lost serve over some crap, yeah, no, she has every right to be pissed. Every right to
Yeah.
be pissed because
So-
that's the match. Because she ended up losing by 1 break. It was 6-4. It was 6-2 or 6-3, 6-4. So that one game, that's the match.
Right.
Well, she didn't just lose off that. She completely lost the
No,
first
well,
set.
no, but that's what I'm saying. But the match doesn't end right there. If I lose a game on serve, if you're taking my serve away from me, see, that's
Right.
why I can't say because I didn't watch.
And that's what I'm
I
saying.
didn't watch it.
As a result of
I just
his,
saw what the end. What
as a result
was.
of his interference,
Yeah.
the chair umpire. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying like so much of this is on him because at some point he could have just sat back and said, you know what, let them play ball. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Let them go at each other. But he continued to insert himself,
intervene,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's we see it in so many other sports all the time, but because these sports are not 1-on-1, it's just when Steph Curry got ejected and threw his
But there's an
mouthpiece,
umpire
right?
and there's refs for a reason.
Of course.
And if he thought he was right with the things he's intervening with, he shouldn't just step back to say like, well, I'm just going to let them play. If there's
But do you say that same thing when there's a call you like or a call you don't like in an NFL or a basketball game? I mean, did Jordan push off or did he not push off? Should there have been a call? Should there not have been a call? Did Harden travel? Did he not travel?
Yeah,
I mean,
and
how
refs
much do
intervene
we-
a lot.
How much do we let
I don't
go?
even
And
know what
how,
play we're talking about.
but refs
How
intervene a
much-
lot with a lot of plays in every sport.
but in the big games, the refs should intervene a lot less. And this was the biggest
You don't-
of games.
you don't
Listen,
want-
if
you don't
it's
want
an-
the- look. I think we all can agree.
She was
You-
already
look-
getting destroyed.
No, but that's the thing,
She
Quan.
was
She
getting.
wasn't.
No,
she
she
was.
wasn't. No.
Quan,
She
listen.
was.
No, Quan,
you
wait.
you already told me you weren't even watching it.
But look, I
I
can look
watched
at,
the whole thing live.
Quan, but
she was getting destroyed.
Quan,
She was getting
Quan,
destroyed.
Quan,
She got destroyed.
Quan, she lost by a break
She got
in
destroyed.
the second set.
She got destroyed.
That is not destroyed. Listen to me. That's not destroyed.
She was
It is
clearly,
destroyed.
she was
That is
clearly
not
losing. She
destroyed.
wasn't getting
That
destroyed.
is not
Yeah.
destroyed, Quan.
She
It's
got
not.
destroyed.
It's not.
Anyways, we got a caller live on the air real quick before we end the show.
We don't.
What's your
try to
name?
Get off the air.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey,
Hey,
I'm calling from Las Vegas.
what's up? How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing good. I just had a comment about your guys' thing. I totally agreed with Quan.
Oh, if you
About
could
the,
turn
like-
the music or the radio in the background down.
Oh yeah, got you. Okay, is it good now?
Yep.
Hi. Okay, so I just wanted to say, as a woman, I'm getting so tired of all of this stuff about, oh man, it's sexist and it's racist. I'm a Puerto Rican brown girl in the business field, and you can't go ahead and just spit that out automatically right away without ruling so many other factors out. If you want to talk about the guy should have taken a step back. I mean, it happens to boxers all the time, and up until recently, UFC fighters, those were all male. It happens to them. Sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
It happens to football players, and I think I think it's sloppy and I think it's lazy thinking. And I'm kind of tired of it. And it makes women look really, really weak. And, I'm even speaking from women. When I see women just doing that automatically, it makes me think, what's wrong with you? Stop being so lazy. There are so many women who are successful in sports or whatever, and they don't think about it. And I think that it's just gone too far.
Yeah, and I think
So,
with what Dave said earlier too is there was an obvious sexist thing that had happened in the U.S. Open with
Yes.
the girl fixing her shirt, having the full
Yeah.
sports bra on underneath, didn't even take the shirt all the way off, turned it back around. And so we need to be able to focus on those things and not just throw everything out there and make sure we focus on the ones that are legit and not just always assume that because it went a different direction, that we can just throw it out there like that.
Plus, everybody seems to feel the need to protect Serena. Serena can handle herself.
Yeah,
we don't all need to take up for Serena Williams. She's fine.
That's true too.
I would like to ask you your name and your number for Quan though, because you said you were a Puerto Rican brown girl, and that's well within his realm of thinking. So that was my I haven't heard a word since you said that. That was my only thought process.
Josh is just trying to hook up.
This is why we can't have female callers. It's very dangerous. It's a slippery slope.
No, it's okay. Quan already has my number.
Oh, see, there you go.
And quit being sexist. Why can't we have female callers, Josh?
I'm just. Hey, look.
It's 2018, Josh.
The ladies can do anything they want.
Oh my gosh.
Well, hey, thanks for calling in and thanks for the input and thanks for agreeing with me because I was getting double teamed over here.
You guys cut out kind of bad since like the number thing. I couldn't hear you very well.
Oh, sorry. I think because everybody was talking at once. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for calling in and thanks for watching the show. There we go.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the hookup, Josh.
Hey, man. Look, always here.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So I mean, that's that on that. I think we're gonna.
Sam Darnold's already been Sam Darnold once,
yes.
so let's.
I'm feeling good.
Okay, so what happened? I missed
six, baby.
Pick six.
Oh god.
Pick six. First, was that his
first
first?
throw.
That was his first throw in his career.
First
Pick
throw.
six. Whoa.
Wow, looks just like Sam Darnold to me.
He's a rookie. So we got to go because we got 2 NFL games to watch. But
I have food to eat. I have not had anything at all today.
Do you want some of this? Too bad. That was messed up. I'll give you some actually.
No, I'm fine.
You sure?
Yeah,
Mr. Goodbar.
I need something that had a face at one point in its life.
Peanuts had a face.
Chocolate has a face.
You never seen the Planters Peanuts,
Mr.
guys?
Peanut, you sorry son. Oh my God.
Yo, tune in every Monday, 4 p.m. usually West Coast time, and every Thursday, 2 p.m. West Coast time right here on Guerilla Cross Radio. Download the app. It's free on the Apple Music Store, Google Play, all that good stuff. Subscribe to us. Follow us at Guerilla Cross everywhere. YouTube, all the videos go up there. Download the app. Everything's on the app. So make sure you check that out. And we will check you on Thursday. We're going to be talking about the big fight happening this weekend. Triple G, Canelo, right here